In the heart of rural and rugged Ireland, where the untamed beauty of the Atlantic coast meets the emerald fairways, lies Ballyliffin Golf Club. But this week, this is no ordinary golf club. This is a battlefield. Here, amidst the dramatic landscapes and ancient links, the world's finest amateur golfers gather for a chance at glory. This is the Amateur Championship, a tournament where skill, strategy and sheer will are put to the ultimate test. Every stroke, every heartbeat, every hole counts. The stage is set, the history books are open, and a new chapter is about to be written. Welcome to Ballyliffin. This is the Amateur Championship 2024.
Hello and welcome back to the 129th Amateur Championship Final at the Ballyliffin Golf Club. If that doesn't make your hairs stand on end, I don't know what will. All roads have led to this moment. Two men remain standing after a memorable marathon. By the end of today, history will be made. This final will be played on Glashedy Links, which is overlooking its eye-catching namesake, Glashedy Island, sitting iconically in the Atlantic Ocean. So much beauty here in the northwest of Ireland. It's Jacob Skov Olesen versus Dominic Clemons, and it's time to get back to business. The rolling dunes of the Ballyliffin Golf Club have been stunning hosts throughout the week. Will Denmark crown their first ever champion this afternoon, or will England add yet another trophy to their very full cabinet? Andy Stevenson is here to join me alongside Simon Himes and Iona Stephen on the ground. Andy, there's so much to play for here this afternoon.
Oh, so much on the line, George. Not just this championship title, of course, which is such a great honour in itself, but by winning this championship, the winner gets a place in 3 majors, most notably the Open Championship itself in a couple of weeks at Royal Troon, but also a place at the Masters, a place at the US Open next year, a place in a DP World Tour event. These are not things to be sniffed at. You know, young golfers all around the world will dream of playing at the Open, will dream of playing at Augusta. And, you know, to have that on offer, within reach, potentially 18 holes, maybe fewer holes this afternoon, that is a great carrot. And all of these guys we're seeing have done that. Christo Lamprecht, the champion last year at Hillside, he went to Royal Liverpool at the Open Championship last summer, a few weeks after winning this event, and had a share of the first round lead overnight. So that is the scale, the magnitude of the prizes up for grabs in the next couple of hours or so. Of course, the two players, I'm sure, their caddies, their support teams, their families, etc., will be telling them not to think about any of that I've just said. They just need to beat their opponent today.
It is so hard not to think, not to dream of the prizes and the year ahead. A life-changing year ahead as well. There's been a 40-minute break here for lunch. As you can see, Olesen is 2 up at the turn. The question is, what do you do at lunch? For me personally, you know, I'd like a change of socks, maybe a quick shower, a shirt change, but I don't think they've got time for a shower in this championship. Freshen up.
They didn't need a shower yesterday. They had a natural shower.
But for me, the change of socks, I think, really goes under the radar of how important it is. I think the Amateur Championship, it's not hanging on the change of socks, but it's a massive moment. Get those toes fresh, feeling good, entering this first tee shot, which is just moments away.
One of the beauties of amateur golf, of course, no prize money. And I'll put an interesting scenario to you here. If you said the winner today would receive £100,000, I think they would rather have the place in the Open, the place in the Masters, the place in the US Open, and the honour of being the amateur champion than that prize money.
100%. It comes with so much glory and so many opportunities. The RNA are trying to produce scenarios and opportunities that can take great players from the amateur game into the professional ranks and into a successful career. The stage they put on, the championships they put on through all levels of golf is second to none. And it's the perfect platform, the perfect pathway for some of our elite amateur golfers. As you can see there, the claret jug has made it to Ballyliffin, shining, glistening in the foreground. So many great names have lifted that aloft. Imagine being in the field by the end of today.
The way the 18 holes went this morning, Dominic Clemons of England, the 22-year-old, was one up after 3 holes, but that was the last time he was ahead in the first set of 18. After that,
good afternoon and welcome
Olesen
to
took charge.
Ballyliffin Golf Club for the final of the 129th Amateur Championship, which will be played between Dominic Clemons and Jacob Skov Olesen. The referee for the match this afternoon is John Miller. On the tee from Gog Magog, Dominic Clemons.
Dominic Clemons will have the honour. He fought back ever so slightly late in the morning round. Could have nearly stolen another one, but he would have taken a lot of pride and a lot of momentum to keep it just to 2. I have a feeling he's got to come back in him. There's something going to happen here this afternoon.
On the tee from Denmark, Jacob Skov Olesen.
Such different mentalities, how to hold on to a lead versus come back and fight for the match. This is a lot of pressure on the Dane, a scenario he might not have had very often, because a 2-up lead is not big in this form of the game. Just one hole and it can change. So how's he going to handle that pressure? How's he going to handle the lead? We will find out very shortly. The biggest 3 hours of his career.
Well, usually the 19th hole is all about refreshment and relaxation. Not for these two today. And is that just going to hold on to the very left edge of the fairway? It is. That has worked out very nicely for our leader.
They have been impressive off the tee for the majority of the day, in particular Olesen. Deja vu, away they go down the first again. It's Dominic Clemons' favourite hole, he mentioned after yesterday's round. He would love that to help him through to chop this lead down straight away.
They halved holes 1 and 2 this morning. And in fact, for the first couple of holes, they were basically shot for shot with each other, weren't they? Wonderful to see the crowds heading out to follow these two. Bigger galleries this afternoon even than this morning, and we had a very healthy crowd wandering around, and of course the weather has such a big part to play in that. It is a stunning location here at Ballyliffin, and it's been wonderful to be able to bring you some of the great shots from our cameras around the course in sunny conditions after yesterday's miserable weather, it has to be said. It is a little overcast this afternoon, but hopefully the blue skies will re-emerge, and that is a great sight, isn't it, for everyone involved in the organisation of this championship. Players, caddies, supporters, spectators, marshals, all sorts of people wandering down the first fairway, and look at that. That's exactly the kind of beauty that we've been enjoying this whole week. If you're just tuning in with us today, possibly even just this afternoon, then these players have already played 8 rounds of golf here since Monday, 2 rounds of stroke play, and then 6 rounds of match play already. So it really is a marathon, not a sprint. I think, George, if I was Jacob, Olesen, I would actually be wanting to just approach this as if we were all square again, starting a new 18.
Correct. You've got to break this down. You've got to try and get through the first 3 holes and just try and keep the score the same. Keep that advantage. And then there's a few holes in particular which he's had success on. He knows when they are, and you've got to pounce. It's so hard to just sit back and hope that he doesn't come at you, but you've still got to pull the trigger when you need to. You've still got to have those moments of aggression and keep pressing and keep adding to your lead and keep putting pressure on, because at the end of the day, Clemons can feel the squeeze. He doesn't have time, very shortly he doesn't have time to make too many more errors or let Olesen have easy wins. So yeah, it is going to be a huge test mentally, because we've seen in this championship so many turnarounds. We've seen some players who haven't been in these scenarios with so many prizes on the line. So it's all about how they handle it. And I think we're going to see a lot unfold here this afternoon. Dominic Clemons, I can't see him playing any worse than he did this morning. I'm not saying he played horribly, but he wasn't quite clicking, wasn't quite gelling. So for him to only be 2 down at the halfway stage, I think he's got some fight in him, this kid.
So Clemons with the wedge out. He's caddied for by his dad, and the familiar rapid pace of play from the Englishman. Straight into action, and another couple of hops forward, and that will be a cracking way for Dominic Clemons to start this second 18 in the final of the Amateur Championship. What a start. 63 yards is his gold zone. So his green light, his favourite yardage, 63 yards with a 60-degree wedge. And I think you just saw it. Right, over to you then, Jacob. He does call himself Jacob rather than Jacob. Maybe because of his time in the US.
Must get aggressive, must get one in tight as well. Ah, why not? Why not? Standard set. Good, walk on to the second. This is brilliant. This is high quality stuff at the Amateur Championship.
That is brilliant, isn't it? Brilliant from the Dane. Oh, that'll be like a gut punch to Clemons though, won't it? Having played a sensational shot yourself, it's a perfect illustration of why we all love match play. Quite galling for him.
And why wouldn't you want to see these 2 superb shots again? Their lunch break has not slowed them down. If anything, it's spurred them on. From 63 odd yards. Look at that. Look at that. This morning, they overcooked both of them with that wind behind, so they've adjusted beautifully. And anything you can do, I can do pretty much better, almost better. Stunning.
We believe that Jacob has conceded Clemons' putt, but is being asked to knock his in. He was a little bit further away, and this camera might foreshorten the distance a bit, but interesting. Looks like the opening titles of The Simpsons there, look, with the blue sky just creeping between the fluffy white clouds.
Birdie. A tremendous start from both golfers, and it would be rude not to see that fantastic approach shot of Olesen once again. A little flick of the wrists, chopping down on a lovely wedge, sawn off finish. He looks great from this distance. He looks so in control. Hop, skip, and a little bit of nibble.
Olesen seemed to be shaking his head a little bit there, actually, after that putt. Yeah, I mean, risky to read too much in from the commentary box, but he seemed a bit miffed, and surely the only reason he could be miffed is that he felt as though he shouldn't have been asked to knock that one in. But anyway, no real needle, but just a little bit of annoyance, I think.
It's good stuff.
It is good stuff.
Get
isn't
into it, boys.
So they'll wander on to the second tee. And the lovely clubhouse which we've become so familiar with over the last couple of days. Ballyliffin has been a fantastic host of this Amateur Championship. The Women's Amateur Championship is next weekend. We'll bring you that live as well, the conclusion of that tournament, which is around the coast at Portmarnock. And I guess, George, with every hole that passes, it's what he's now 2 up with 17 to go, not 18.
Yeah, well, that's...
You'll tick them off, won't you?
That's part of it. That's part of it. If he can... At the end of the day, if there's ever a decision to be made, he just needs to... Olesen just needs to say, look, a halve's a win for me here. So,
yep.
Very similar, the first and second hole. If you weren't able to watch the morning's proceedings, Clemons loves playing quick, loves playing a big fade off the tee, and he gets it down there. Fence line on the right, so got to be careful of that. Got to be very careful of that. Could that be out of bounds? I mentioned earlier in the week that's only in play for the members, but could this be a reload? It looks that way. He's reaching to the bag. Oh dear. That is a big error. Olesen's still playing driver. Really doesn't need to. I can't see him going anywhere near this fence after his partner has just gone in there. And as predicted, he stayed well clear of that fence. Up on the hill. Well spotted, mate.
And Clemons not taking a provision. He is taking a provisional. Here he comes.
Really gives it a rip. No doubt a little bit of anger in that one. Alrighty, so after a lunch break, not only are the players fueled up, Iona Stephen is as well.
I am delighted to have been joined by Pat Ruddy, who was the architect of the Glashedy Links. Pat, thank you so much for giving us some of your time. It is a spectacular links course, and I'm wondering if you could tell us a little bit about the inspiration behind it.
Well, it was just here, the land, beautiful land, and when I came up here, the people were very welcoming, and we all got a little bit excited. Because it's stupendous land when you look around, and if you weren't inspired by this, you had no soul at all.
What would you say is your favourite hole if you could pick one out?
I never do that. I say all my children are equal.
Right.
But no, I love them all. The one I love most is the one I made a par on most recently.
Okay, all right.
Which isn't often enough.
Oh, very good, very good. And have you been enjoying watching the Amateur Championship come here this week?
Very much. It's a thrill. The Irish Open was here some years ago and I couldn't come. I was in hospital and I was very well distraught, you know. So to be able to come up and see some of this was great. It's a great event. First one I went to was 1969 at Royal County Down, and I've been a great follower of the championship ever since. And so to have it on our own club, I call this my club now as well. They very kindly made me an honorary member, And so this is our club, right? It's great to have it here, okay?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, listen, Pat, we could chat to you all afternoon, and we'd love to very much, but congratulations on your contribution to the game, and we appreciate your time very much.
Well, what a delightful man. If you weren't inspired by this, referring to the piece of land, if you weren't inspired by this, you haven't got a soul, he said. That is lovely, and Pat Ruddy certainly deserves a standing ovation for what he has helped create here, no doubt about that.
I quite liked All My Children Are Equal.
Yeah, what's your favourite hole?
As well. Very well responded and very well designed golf course.
So as we watch the players and galleries walk up this second hole, worth remembering that Olesen, we've never had a Danish winner of the Amateur Championship. We've had winners of the Women's Amateur, but not this event. So he's looking for a bit of history. He's already made history by being the first Danish player to make the final. So this is Clemons coming straight to his provisional. So he was 3 off the tee, already on the back foot.
Yep.
Needs a bit of a miracle, doesn't he?
That's how brutal it is out here, and all of a sudden, after knocking one into tapping on the first and feeling good about life, he's going to find himself 3 down through 20 holes.
That's what lies ahead. That bunker just treacherously waiting for anything stray. 4th shot already, remember.
Needs to chip or putt that one in to force his opponent's hand. Disappointing hole. Olesen isn't out of the woods though. He's up on the hill in the rough stuff. All in all, looks a pretty good lie, to be honest. Can see a lot of the golf ball. Knows what he needs to do. Centre of the green and 2-putt, simple as that. The safest option possible here. Ride the wind, which will be coming in over his right shoulder. Just a wedge in hand, shouldn't have too many issues here.
Sounded pretty clean, didn't it?
Yep, just kept trickling on past.
But he's there for 2 and Clemons is there for 4. So something pretty spectacular would have to happen to prevent Olesen winning this hole and moving back to 3 up, which is where he was at a couple of points of this morning's round. He managed to get to 3 up.
Father and son striding onto the second green. Not a huge amount of crack between them, as the Irish would say. His old man needs to inspire him to great heights this afternoon if he ever needs them. It's today. That is stunning. That's one of my favourite parts on the course. Beautiful.
We heard from Pat Ruddy there, and he's an incredibly modest fellow. Obviously worked really hard and came up with some brilliant designs for this course, and he acknowledged it himself, he was given this incredible spot of land to work with. You know, it was a gift, a natural gift, but they have worked a golf course around it absolutely beautifully. Seems as though the setup is in place for this course to host professional tournaments again in the future, perhaps. Right, well, nothing fancy here from Olesen required, nothing silly. Anything within about 10 feet would surely mean end of hole. Just like that, almost, but look at that. I think that will be ball picked up and on we go. So as we feared, Clemons taking 3 off the tee was fatal, really. No way back from there. And Jacob Olesen restores his 3-hole lead. We'll take another look. This looked very good for a long, long time.
That is a touch of class just after the lunch break. He is proving relatively clutch at the moment. He has made the most of a Clemons error on the second. 3 up entering the third.
Yeah, if you start to get into countdown territory, he's 3 up with 16 to play now. George is laughing next to me, but he will.
You're going to do this every hole, aren't you?
Yeah, I am. just to make you laugh. But I think certainly you would be just trying to tick off the holes as you go. And look at this elevated tee with the view behind. Some wonderful properties over there, by the way.
Well, in terms of settling the nerves and trying to hold a lead, there's not many better gifts than your opponent going out of the property on the second hole. So that'll relax him, but this is a tight tee shot here on the third. Got to thread the needle, which they did so perfectly well this morning. And by the sounds of that gallery, he has done it again. Look at it go. Look at it go.
Full of energy, full of confidence, isn't he, at the moment, the Dane?
What did he have for lunch?
Now, Clemons won 4 of the 18 holes this morning, and this was one of them.
Two monstrous drives here. Oh. Unfortunately, he won't be getting much run from in that rough. Clemons is only 30 or 40 yards short of this par 4. Tremendous shot. Speaking of Olesen's lead, why don't we go check in on him and get to know him just a little bit better.
I've not always been that fond of links golf and not always done that well on links courses. I never go to a tournament that I don't think I can win. I do very well in match play most of the time, so I love playing match play. So I waited until I was in the best form of my life. Don't know if I would have made it this far some of the other years, but I've been playing good all year, so I definitely felt like I could go play well. Once I got into 64, games felt good for a while, so I haven't been stressed about that. And I want to be still completely locked in on winning and not just be a little too happy about reaching the final, because now it's one match left, and it's definitely the biggest and most prestigious event. It runs back a very long time, not sure how long, but everyone knows it's been around for a while, and a lot of great players have won this tournament and gone on to do great things. So I feel like I almost get even more focused once it gets more intense. It'd be really cool to play in the Open Championship next month. Obviously, you let your thoughts wander to how that would be, and what that would feel like, and so I feel ready to win the Amateur Championship trophy.
Yes, tremendous to get to know more about Jacob Skov Olesen, who we've got to remember this is his first attempt at the Amateur Championship. How impressive is that? And Iona is down there watching this battle with very, very close eyes.
Yeah, I'm going to keep this really quick, guys, because as you can see, the players coming in fast behind me. Dominic down this bunker on the left-hand side, and he's got a really nice lie there. It's sitting perfectly. There's a big face, big lips, and big eyebrows on this bunker, but he's got a good line. He's going to have a lot of loft in his hand, just a wedge. And if he gets a nice clean strike on this, no problem at all getting home. Meanwhile, the Dane much further down the fairway in position A.
Well, we've seen some good bunker shots recently in the world of golf. None other than Bryson DeChambeau.
I mean, Clemons is lucky here, I think, to be in the bunker rather than up where his dad was heading up there now into the long grass. But that is a pretty steep face. You need to be ultra careful. I mean, he's actually... The flag itself being over to the right-hand side of the green, I think, gives him the angle to avoid the highest part of this bunker lip. If you see there, the grass is sort of growing off up the top of the bunker. Well, they're not really in his line, are they? To the flag, at least.
Yeah, so he's got 104 to the front, plus 24 on. So 128 yards to skittle it back there. Very difficult shot. It's twice the length of Bryson DeChambeau's and some. So this is tough. See, there's a big tear, a big top tier on this green, so that's the main priority, is to get it on the same tier as this pin. Very clean lie, but this is a very difficult shot. You can see he's aiming quite far out to the right to get away from that grass. Playing a punchy little draw. Looks like great contact. Oh, what a shot, but stay up there. Oh, unfortunate, but what a great golf shot all the same. Magical from 128 yards.
Yeah, he deserved more from that, didn't he? He's in great form, Clemons, coming into this tournament. He won the Amateur Scottish Open a few weeks back at Muirfield. He was 24 under and won by 17 shots from his nearest competitor. He had rounds of 68, well, that was a very average start. 65, 65 and 62 to follow. So an incredible 4 rounds from Clemons at Muirfield just recently. And he's carried that form into this tournament, of course, getting down to the final 2. He's had some brilliant match play wins this week. He was tied 5th after the stroke play stage on Monday and Tuesday. So he's no mug, is he?
Well, you mentioned all those rounds before. Coming back from the US, he shot an 11 under 61 around Ritz-Carlton in Florida. So he's got it in the can if he needs it, and he might just need something like that this afternoon.
In very similar conditions to Ballyliffin, no doubt, at Ritz-Carlton in Florida.
Talking to his family and friends, they were saying he was on a +4 handicap at the age of 16. So fair play to you. Fair play. Olesen, dead centre. Little flick of the wrists. Flicking one low in there. Up. Oh, go in! Oh! My word. What has this kid had for lunch? Because I want a slice of the pie. Let's see that again. He's just punched it low. And, oh, he has pulled on everyone's heartstrings with this second bounce. Oh. Wow.
I love the reaction of the guy on the stool behind, who was like, everyone was, oh, wow.
That is truly magnificent, and he has come out flying.
The only person who didn't enjoy that was poor old Dominic Clemons, because that, again, is another punch to the guts, isn't it?
It sure was.
He has still got his own chance for a birdie though, Clemons, don't forget. So this hole not over. He plays so quickly, Clemons, but that's not gone in. And it's going to be another hole win for the Dane. And we're only 3 holes into this second set of 18. And Olesen has moved from 2 up at the halfway stage to now 4 up. These are worrying times now for the Englishman.
Well, he plays so quick it's hard to keep up. But how about that? 4 up all of a sudden. That is very, very quickly got out of control for Olesen.
You and Simon, I was listening to you earlier and talking about how quickly Clemons putts, and I think you, George, made the point that he lines his putts up whilst his opponent is playing, which of course is, you know, is a common thing. There's nothing unusual about that. But then when he addresses the ball himself, he plays immediately. So he's done his homework, as you put it, whilst the other player is playing, steps up to the ball, hits the ball immediately. It feels like he just needs to give himself a moment, I think, Clemons, just before he strikes. I mean, you know, who am I to criticise? He's been playing incredibly well all week and coming into this, but it just, 1 or 2 little mistakes come in, and I think it might be because of his pace. An easy criticism, I know, but let's see how things pan out now as we move to the 4th.
Yes, the 4th is where we make the turn. A glorious par 5 on the farthest border of this course. We slowly turn back towards Glashedy Island. Wind humming off the left. It's 116 yards just to get to the front of the fairway, so they're way back. They're nearly in the neighbour's backyard. Everyone watching in Denmark is all of a sudden perked up on the edge of their seat, getting very excited. Still a long way to go. This is a marathon, not a sprint. Look at the gallery all of a sudden. Asking a lot here, asking the wind to whack this back into the fairway.
We'll find that one in a moment, but Clemons.
Look how high he's teed this one up. I swear that's higher than usual. Oh dear. There is another fence line down there. Be careful, please. So hard to keep up with that, especially with the grey skies. A little bit concerning, both in body language and results at the moment for Clemons. The driver is his favourite club in the bag, and it's let him down twice now in the last 4 holes.
I think Dad Michael's got a big role now, hasn't he, for Dominic, just keeping his son level-headed. There is a long way to go still.
So very difficult to remain calm, and 4 up sounds like a big lead, but you must remember there is a lot of golf to be played. And albeit not scoreboard pressure, there will be a lot of mental pressure and a lot of strain and a lot of funny thoughts going through Olesen's head as he slowly puts one little finger on the trophy.
Right, watching 7 down there for us. Iona Stephen, all yours.
Yes, thank you very much. I'm down here on the right-hand side where Dominic's ball has come to rest. And as you can see, if I get in behind him, he's on a severe downslope, so it's sloping away from him in this direction. The rough in this patch isn't too thick, I'm pleased to report, but there are these wispy, loose bits of grass which can grab the hosel of the club, and it's wheeking it off to the left-hand side if you're not careful. So he's going to have to get a lot of loft in his hand and play back into position, probably somewhere to the dog leg. And this is a par 5, so he's got that on his side. If he gets this back on the short stuff, somewhere down in that direction, he could certainly get a pitching wedge, maybe a 9-iron on this, get it somewhere there. But there are two big faces of bunkers staring right at him in this direction, so he must be wary of those. He's playing back into the wind off the left-hand side, so that's going to feed it nicely back round into where this fairway leads to the green. And as we know, he's a very quick player. He's on his way now, so I'm going to move out the way, but blink and you'll miss it.
Well, I'm glad Iona wasn't watching the 7th hole. She was, of course, on the 4th hole. I'll let you into a secret. It was camera 7 which threw me, but I'm glad Iona was on the right hole. We are playing number 4, and here comes Dominic Clemons up to where Iona was just speaking to us. Simon Holmes has joined me in the commentary box. Simon, this is these are crucial moments for this man now, really, because things could unravel.
Yeah, you have enough time, but you've got to start hitting some winning shots. You know, you're making too many errors, unforced errors. Ball out of bounds, having just put up a great shot on the first. You're not causing Jacob any kind of stress. You're not disrupting him. You're not making him second guess himself. You're not making him have to do anything. He can just he doesn't have to hit any good shots. So. Come on. 4 down, got to get it back. Let's go.
Oh.
Okay.
Has it even come out? I'm not sure. I don't know if it's come out the other side.
No, wouldn't have thought so.
No.
So, an emergency moment really now. This is where his dad, his caddy, can say, listen, what are you doing? Let's slow it down. Let's make a plan for the next hole. So it can escalate, it can cascade away from you. You've got to stop that. Build a wall, hit the next shot's going to be a great shot.
Well, Iona was on the spot and showed us exactly the lie he had there. It was a very difficult one to get out of, but bit of a nightmare result for Clemons, particularly when you look at where Olesen is here now.
Olesen's doing so many things right. Here we go. They're sort of free hits, so he's not creating any tension in him. I'm not sure where that's going.
There it is,
okay.
Just rolling into view.
Yeah, perfect, absolutely perfect. So, just keeping it really out in front of him, eliminating the mistakes, and now he's making it hard work. So now you've got to play like a 5-wood or something out of this. He won't take long, I'll tell you that. So punch it needs a series of really good bounces. I don't think that's it. We've got some guys looking up the right.
I think he might have gone over the other side, actually, to the right as we look, but we'll figure that out in a moment for you. But things are pretty difficult out there at the moment for Clemons. I mean, they don't... It's not like they were chatty at all this morning and in previous rounds, but they're not saying a great deal to each other at the moment, father and son. Perhaps, you know, obviously that's maybe the way they both like it, but at this point you feel that a bit of chatter could be quite useful.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? It's the timing of everything. You know, what was it, a month ago, 5 weeks ago, an incredible performance at Muirfield. So form has been in there. Just not finding the same buzz today. Gotta stop making Olesen work for his victory.
I feel like Clemons' ball is over to the right as we look. You can just sort of sense from the way the spectators are beginning to gather over that way. Or maybe it's that they haven't actually
There
found
he
the
is in
ball
the
yet.
background, shotting down. So that was miles out of position. So
That's interesting, because
You've got
Olesen is coming over, presumably. A puzzling situation this. I think Olesen's just trying to help out, actually find Clemons' ball, because surely it's Olesen in the centre of the fairway. We saw it with our
Yes.
own eyes, didn't we? We saw it with our own eyes. So yeah, I think Olesen was actually just trying to help out there. Because yeah, he's plumbed
So,
there. That's
yeah,
his
and
caddy.
he's having too many free holes at the moment. So he was 2 up after 18. Great response, initial response from Dominic on the first. Responded immediately. Out of ball out of bounds. Now he's 4 down. He's in trouble. So I think we'll have the third shot from Jacob first. Just thinking about how he wants that launch and spin to go. Links turf is amazing to hit these shots off. So fantastic view.
Things are definitely going his way, aren't they?
He's just making no mistakes. And that's, once you get nudged ahead, you make it very difficult. Here we go. How far up will he chase this? Went all the way, he'll carry that the majority of the way. That's excellent. See what Iona's got for us.
Hello, Simon. Yes, we are down here, and another very, very tricky shot for the Englishman. Out of position down the left-hand side. The good news, he's on the short stuff, so he's on the fairway, which means he can get a nice strike on this ball, and he's going to need his country best, because he's playing something over probably a 40-45 yard distance to a very tight pin. This flag all the way at the back of the green, and he's probably only got 7 or 8 paces to work with in front of the flag. The bad news for Clemons is he's playing straight down the breeze, so as soon as this ball gets up, the wind's going to be pushing it on its way, and it's just so difficult to control it, and he's got to be careful of it not running through the green. There is a bunker over there on the right hand side as well, and that wind's just going to knock it out the air, so expect this one to have plenty of loft.
Well, he's done well from where he was. That was his 4th shot, remember. I mean, again, he was pretty quick there. He was doing the old jumping in the air to look at the green and where the flag was, rather than going and walking over and having another look at it. But decent result, to be honest, but he's up against it at the moment. There is no doubt about that, and Olesen could make things worse for Clemons in the next few moments.
Yeah, great to have Iona's eyes on describing the difficulty of the shot. I would say he'd be pretty happy about that, but so many unforced errors. You know, he's got that 4 apart. He's been a bit all over the place. It's disruptive. He's not in form. He's not putting any pressure on Olesen. Ah, how about that? A warm day. It's exhausting watching the golf. Here we go. So a little aim point. Express. Let's see. So his dad is in. Dominic's dad. checking it out. All of these have got to go. There's no leeway whatsoever. He has time, but he has to start to put a doubt in Olesen's head. Plenty of speed. Just the top edge there was a super putt. But that's a 6. And that's conceded.
Yeah, that's a practice putt from
off and
Olesen.
running.
He had 2 from there to win.
5 down. That's just going to be making it too easy. You need to start clawing it back. The next 3 holes are absolutely crucial, or this could really get away from him. He comes so close. Dominic Clemons, you've got to slow it down, start to hit some really good shots. So that's his task for Olesen. He is managing this whole final exactly how he said yesterday. Calm.
Olesen has won 3 holes in a row now, 2, 3 and 4. He had a similar run this morning on 4, 5 and 6. He won 3 holes in a row. But this afternoon session has been dominated by the Dane so far. And 5 feels pretty ugly, doesn't it, to Dominic? 5 down. Anyway, talking of 5, here we are on the 5th hole, which is the first of the par 3s. Again, it's a par 3 where the green significantly lower than the tee. Not quite as dramatically so as the par 3s later on this course, but still below your feet. Bunkers pretty much all round, as you can see. Lulls you into a false sense of security, this hole, doesn't it, Simon, from the tee?
I think what's difficult, you know, it's basically, it's playing into, so it's playing probably like 210, 215. And for Olesen, he's had such a tough time to get that draw ball, you know, to stay out of those right-hand traps. So let's see what he's got here. Just got his foot in the divot there. You can see him staying close to the right side of the tee, trying to get the ball starting perhaps on that left-hand bunker that we can see. Working back down, great view of this shot from our cameramen, running all over the place, doing a brilliant job. So, in command. That's the balance finish, but has that got too much hook spin? I'm not sure which trap that fell into. Oh, in between the traps. Ah, well, that's a really good break. I would suggest, if that's a good lie, that's a good break, Andy.
Yeah, I wonder if that's rolled down there or where that landed. If that's where that landed, that's remarkable. To avoid the 2 bunkers. Clemons now with a chance to respond.
Had to be very similar, definitely lost, I think, to the right.
He's gone a bit here, hasn't he? He's gone a bit, Clemons.
He certainly had his hands have a go at it. We're not sure, but nevertheless, the right side of the green is going to be much better. The left side, I would suggest, worse, Andy, to try to get up and down. There you go.
Watching RNA TV on her phone, no doubt.
The live feed. Here we go. It is a dramatic piece of the country, isn't it? Beautiful.
Let's take an aerial look at this hole whilst we work out where Dominic Clemons' ball is. We think Clemons over to the left as we look, probably either in the bunker or to the left of that in the long grass, and then Olesen has remarkably come to a halt between the latter of these 2 bunkers on the right. But it's a hole where you think you've got a great birdie chance, but it can so quickly go wrong. And talking of these bunkers, let's head down to Iona Stephen, who's got a closer look at them.
Yes, thank you. This is just match play for you guys. Unfortunately, we've got one in the bunker, one in between, and Clemons is a plugged lie, so it's going to be a lot of work. The good news is, as Simon said, this is the right side of the green to miss it on, and he does have green to work with. And these players are so skilled. They faced everything you possibly can face out on these links, and he will have practiced this shot. There's different ways you can play it. Some people hood the club, some people opt for more loft. Looks like plenty of loft in the case of Clemons. And he's going to power everything he's got through this.
How about that? Strong hand, strong body. Well done.
Done well to
dig
that out.
Come on.
His drive wrong-footed me, certainly. I thought he'd gone over the other side, but he ended up in this bunker on the right-hand side of the green.
Yeah, it looked like a right miss, didn't it, when he was swinging into that? So you've got to dig deep. You've got to find something. You've got to reset it. You've been in form. Where is that form? It looks very fast to me. Now, Olesen. Such a good shot, isn't it? Such a good shot. Such a perfect shot. Great hit on the ball. They could tell exactly that first bounce. That is 6 up. And Olesen has got one hand on the Amateur Championship trophy. Amazing first performance. He's come out of the clubhouse and he means business. Have a look at this. Such a great hit. See that club shaft released. Got the roll of the ball exactly right. It was a classy shot, lucky to go in, but it's a super shot, and he marches up the hill. And he's making it a very difficult walk for Dominic Clemons, who has to now reset. You've got to push something back on him. You have to impose yourself in the game. You can't just disappear on him.
Match play can be brutal, can't it? Poor old Dominic Clemons there. You feel for him. You can't help but feel for him in that particular situation. He's just managed to get out of the bunker very impressively himself, and then your opponent does that to you. It's brutal. But fair play to Olesen. He has shown great touch around the green at points this week. He told us all earlier in the week that putting was his Achilles heel. Well, if you can get round without having to putt very often in that situation, then, well, all the better. Ooh, now, hello a minute.
What did you put in there? What? Cheese and what? Look at that.
Oh, lovely.
That does look pretty good, doesn't it? I think she's nailed that. Here we go. So,
it's 4 holes in a row, by the way, for Olesen now. He's won. We've not seen that kind of run in the last couple of days. Very much on top now, the Dane, aiming for his own piece of history.
interesting
Somebody's
strategy
phone going
here.
off there, I'm afraid.
So there's a bunker up the left, but it's only 260, so it's more of a run-out bunker. So I think this is going to be pretty close to those front traps. 370, I guess this is wind across, so gonna go take it across the dog leg, deciding to keep up the aggression. It's definitely not a draw swing. Okay, so just past the trap, I think, on the left side. So now got to do something amazing. It's going to be all about the good shots. That is a good swing. Yeah, really good swing. Takes the trap out in this wind. Not able to go for the green. Got to start putting some birdies together. Just play the course. Got to be 3 under the next 5 holes. to have any kind of chance. That's your goal. It's possible.
I tell you what, Olesen must surely be just having occasional thoughts about the postage stamp, amen corner, all these things that might lie ahead for him.
Yeah, and that's what you've got to get him into. You've got to get it, you know, you have to now start shaking his confidence. You can't just make it a foregone conclusion. So for Clemons, he has to put up a defence now. Nothing to lose, absolutely nothing to lose. Got to hit some really classy shots. So it's not about hitting a bunch of nice shots, to get it some winning shots. Winning shots is like 4 to 4 feet and make it. Got to make some birdies now.
If Olesen himself isn't thinking of those things, and I imagine his family and friends back home or wherever they are, maybe over in the US, who are watching with us, they might start to think about trips to Troon and Augusta. I know it's still a long way to go, but those are the exciting rewards up for grabs here, as well as the Amateur Championship title. You wouldn't be human, I don't think, if you weren't just allowing some of those thoughts to creep in now, with a 6-hole advantage, 13 holes to go, including this one. He loves the game. He's clearly somewhat of a student of the game as well, so he knows exactly how exciting playing at an Open Championship or a Masters will be. We're not writing Clemons off, though. He's a very talented young player. He wouldn't have made it this far if he wasn't, but 6 down, it's a mountain. It's a mountain to rival some of the mountains around Ballyliffin. Right, what kind of lie do we think Olesen's going to have here? He's just throwing away some of the loose bits of grass around him. Iona can actually give us a better idea of what Olesen's lie is. Iona.
Yes, I certainly can, and when luck is on your side, it's just on your side. And again, pretty lucky for the Dane down this left-hand side. He's playing some supreme golf out here. Sometimes you need a wee bit of luck as well, but the ball is lying just fine, not in the thick stuff. And he's got a very good angle to this green, flagging that back left portion, and the wind direction, we're straight back into it. So he's going to have a wedge in his hand, and you've got to be careful of the ball spinning up into it. It's all about controlling that trajectory. He's definitely going to need to account for at least 10 or 15 yards, and it is quite tough to judge things when you are coming out the rough. Lots of conversation between him and his caddy Jamie. They are a great team. It's a really important shot. Just find the heart of the green, leave yourself an uphill putt.
Thank you, Iona.
Oh, it came out hot. It just came out a little hot. I have to say, though, all of the bunkers are around that sort of front quadrant, like horseshoeing the front. Now, okay. Half an open door, Dominic. You have to react to this.
Good shot.
Okay, okay. Yes, okay. Much better. Much better.
Yeah.
Got to now knock that in. You've got to put a little bit of a needle in the Olesen balloon. It is flying too high at the moment. There they are. What entertainment they've given us so far. Comes down to what's going to happen on the back nine. A massive momentum swing will be needed.
Because, Simon, it doesn't need to be a flamboyant recovery, does it? It can be it can still afford to be a sort of slow and steady, gradual recovery. He's got enough holes.
Yeah, you are right, Andy. It doesn't have to be an explosion. If you can just start to put a doubt, right? You know, Dominic has to have hope, and he has to start to take away momentum from Olesen for this to be a contest over these last 4 or 5 holes, the finishing 4 or 5 holes. Otherwise, at 6 down, you start to take on way too much risk. You're looking for miracles, and miracles don't happen under these kind of situations. So any kind of chink in the Olesen armory has to be exploited, and then you've got to make Olesen start to question, oh, am I really going to win this? Is this going to, you know, that's the sort of process you've got to have. So very good tee shot and second shot from Clemons. Exactly what he needs underneath the hole. Great views of the situation here. So just a little, almost like a little punch chip shot here. Just control that first bounce, let the ball release down like it's a putt.
Clemons will be there thinking, don't you dare chip this one in again.
Yeah, what is Clemons thinking? He has to be thinking what he's going to do. Now. Oh, lovely little chip shot there. Didn't quite get it to release, so certainly, here we go. First advantage.
Let's just see if he slows down a little bit here. I mean, again, this is where a dad, I suppose, can sort of almost force him to slow down a bit if he wants to, just by urging him to take another look at things.
Just the decisions made so quickly. I'm not convinced that this is the right pace. You know, maybe just a bit of fatigue or something, but you know, and we don't know how he performed. We don't know how his routine was when he won a Muirfield. So there's magic in there, and there's a lovely smile on the face, but just mishit that. Come on.
It's a wry smile, isn't it? He's
yeah, but it's like, this is you got to put up a stronger attack than this.
I mean, he's off, isn't he? He's stopped now, but I think he's bubbling in there. He's simmering in there. I think it's a bit of a brave face smile, I think, from
yeah, but you've got time. This is not done. You've got time.
Yeah, I mean, he might be about to win this hole if Olesen misses this. But I can understand the way he's feeling. No, that's gone, and that's one back.
Yeah, one back. Let's go. Come on. Make it a contest.
So Dominic Clemons, the Englishman, wins his first hole of this afternoon session. But Olesen remains 5 up. Still a commanding lead.
So he does not hang about. The 7th hole has been tricky. There's huge elevation change. What is he thinking? He's just won one. I'll tell you what, to tell us a little bit more about the difficulty of this hole, let's hear from Iona.
Yes, I'm just tucked in behind this 7th tee box, and no surprise, the Englishman is first to arrive. Goodness me, is he quick. And I do love quick play. It's great to see a player that's playing with instinct and not overthinking things, but pleased to report he's having a bit of a snack. And energy management is so important, particularly as we head deep into the afternoon. This stage in the game is managing the energy in the tank. And this 7th hole demands everything. So exposed. We've been talking about it all week. You can really feel the wind blowing in from the right-hand side and into your face. It's hurting at least 10, 15 yards off the right-hand side. 174 yards is the number, and they've been here before. Didn't quite go their way this morning in terms of finding the putting surface. but you want to send one out to the right. Plays 21 yards down. Big change in elevation. You've got to try and get it down on that putting surface as quickly as you can. And Clemons has got great control. He's got this low shot in the locker. So he's having a wee think about what club he's going to hit. Just double checking the yardage. 174 that plays 154. I'd suggest a 7-iron. At least we've seen it all hit off this tee this week. But he needs to keep this nice and controlled, middle of the green.
Well, it's one of the signature holes on the Glashedy Links. Oh, it's a bad kick into the bunker, but it was never on line anyway. Just look how high up they are when we look back towards the tee. This is the hole that gave George a nosebleed on his walk around the course earlier this week. It's an incredible drop down to the green. A spectacular vista for all of the spectators who made it up alongside Iona at the top of this hill. The water on the right really only in play if, in the case of Olesen, you do a terrible hook. So another one of these par 3, Simon, where it's a big target but not easy.
Yeah, just the elevation and the wind. Okay. I mean, he is getting the luck of the draw a little bit, but for Clemons, an unforced error. He had the opportunity to put pressure on Olesen, hit that first shot. So it was great to hear from Iona. And it's just the elevation change and the fact that you get such a high launch. So you can see the bunker to the right of the green. That is where we will find Dominic Clemons' ball. And you can see the ball just behind the flag on the right. That is the ball of Olesen, and advantage Olesen, no doubt whatsoever.
The largest margin of victory in this amateur championship in the last 20 years was 6-5. That was a win by Garrick Porteous in 2013 at Royal Cinque Ports. But just as a sign of the history of this tournament, the largest ever margin of victory was back in 1934 at Prestwick. Lawson Little won the amateur championship that year by 14-13. You wouldn't have wanted to be on the wrong end of that scoreline, would you?
You would not. You would not. It's so difficult. It just keeps falling between your fingers. There's our latest list of champions. Certainly Christo Lamprecht seems to be a name that is going to fly.
Laird Shepherd in 2021, mentioned it earlier, but worth saying again, he was 8 down after 17 holes, and he was still 4 down with 4 to play. Came through to win at a second extra hole. We've talked a few times about the fact that Robert McIntyre was a runner-up in this event in 2016. Tommy Fleetwood also a runner-up. Matteo Manassero made history for Italy when he won in 2009. He was only 16 at the time, the youngest ever winner. Sergio Garcia back in 1999, and a certain Jose Maria Olazabal beat Colin Montgomery in the 1984 final. So it's a tournament with big names threaded throughout, a very proud history. The 129th amateur championship this is.
Okay, he holed a chip a couple of holes ago. I'm going to hold a bunker shot. This is the one. So paces, just waiting for some guys behind the green to pause. Does the right thing, resets. Come on, needs a great shot here. Not quite enough carry. Oh, very good actually. Come on! Thought that wasn't going to release out, but that was superb. That was the right shot. Like a dead 3, so now putt it, or he's thinking about putting it.
Is he going to get the nod here to pick up the ball?
Yeah.
He is. Okay, so guaranteed par. He's fighting.
Yeah, it's too precious, so precious to be the amateur champion and all of the doors that opens. You have to fight. That was a great recovery bunker shot.
Amazing how sheltered it is down here when you come off that 7th tee, and you can barely feel any wind down here at all. Olesen opting for the putter in this circumstance, which is a good choice. He's got a very smooth surface in front of him, and it will race all the way down to the flag, down the breeze.
Wow, it hit something significant there. Doesn't look to have disturbed the pace, but certainly threw it pretty far right.
He's going to be asked to knock that one in. Lady there with the Royal Portrush Open jacket on from 2019, and the Open will return to Portrush next summer, just along the coast from here. I dare say plenty of these people were at that Portrush Open 5 years ago. What an occasion that was.
Yeah, golf fans. It's a love of the game, it's a solidarity. We all try, the game normally beats us all. Right, to tidy up. Very important putt. Yeah, so, at the other end of the speed spectrum to Clemons. Got to think this is inside the hole. It's very clean, that, isn't it? It's a very tidy routine. It's decisive, it's committed. No real gifts at all from Olesen back to Clemons, and Clemons, unfortunately for him, has offered up too many. So he maintains a 5-up advantage. We head to the 26th hole. That is the 8th. Dogleg left.
I'm sure if George was here in the commentary box right now, he'd smile when I say this, but 5 up with 11 to play. The number of holes are just obviously reducing steadily.
Yeah, that's what he's got to do. So you can see him working on that swing, trying to get those arms down. I'll just tell you what, I think that is going to be, this is a swing that's going to go far. This is not a name that will be disappearing. Not sure where that came down, but it's a very good action. It needs perhaps to be refined. Still just a young guy. Started at the bunker, that's what my guess is.
Aim for that cliff face right in the distance,
yeah.
Jacob.
So there is a trap on the corner of the dogleg to the left side, and then one straight through it. So I'm thinking he's trying to hit this over that left bunker. Great view. Watch the foot. Bounce. Okay, great ball from Jamie. And that is the centre right of the fairway, in between the two traps, and that is absolutely position A. So again, no mistakes, nothing offered, no chinks. Starting to really get a very good gallery who want to see who becomes the next amateur champion.
Yeah, smooth stuff from Olesen. His caddy, Jamie Nilsson, who played in this tournament earlier in the week, was knocked out in an earlier round and is now caddying for his pal. I wonder if he fancies caddying at Troon in a few weeks' time. We've been speaking about different tempos of play. Well, how about super speedy? Speed golf. George had a go a couple of weeks ago.
Rob Hogan is a two-time speed golf world champion and has agreed to show me the ropes around Ballyliffin. We're using holes 16, 17 and 18 of the old course, and Rob has set us a time of 8 minutes to complete the challenge.
You're only as fast as your slowest runner. What? Off we go. Shot! Right into the fizzer. It's as much about efficiency as it is about running speed. Beautiful. Get up. Yeah, the dim's going back, mate! It's a great shot! I've hit a great shot! The dim's going back! The dim is back! Putter! My goal is to be the world's most virtuous golfer! It's just on the 8-back edge! It's efficiency! Beautiful. Lift, lift. Watch it! Watch it! Lift! Watch it! I need you with me! Oh! What's happening? Make the most of it, convert! That's how we do it. We're missing it, come on. It's 19 off! That was your job, buddy! Sorry. That's okay. Love is unconditional. Woo! Okay! Up, get up! I've come the wrong way. Oh, far out. Let's bring it home. Let's do this, come on. Beautiful shot. Here, you finish this on top of it. Save your legs, tip it in. And let me come up there. Woo! Clinical. Here's to the open-minded. Here's to the virtuous. Come on!
Well, there you go. Speed golf. I think Dominic Clemons has been watching that VT a couple of times this week, but fair play to Graham and Rob for playing the last 3 holes in under 8 minutes here at Ballyliffin. Back to the serious stuff now, though. Second shot for Olesen from A1 position on the fairway. And that's okay. That's all he needs to do. That is all he needs to do for the remaining holes. Just centre of the fairway, centre of the green. And the Amateur Championship title will be his. Here is Clemons, hitting straight away, of course. Doesn't take any pause, and that's just a knockout into the fairway. He has found the short stuff. But again, it's advantage Olesen onto the green in 2. Iona, we've been commenting up here in the commentary box about the speed of Dominic's play. Is that something that you're sort of seeing down there on the ground yourself? Are some of the spectators taken by surprise at how quickly he plays?
Oh, I don't know, Andy. I think they've played pretty quick in this part of the world. It's nippy in the air and you just sort of come out here and it's a race to the halfway hut. That's the style of play. But for, you know, this standard, they're basically professional at this level of the game, and he does play incredibly quickly. But he's a field player. That's, you know, he's playing with it with instinct, but there are a few mistakes being made. He was very unlucky there. He thought he would carry that bunker at the dog leg, but he just got caught in the face and it kicked back down, and he was forced to advance the ball and play for position. So he's got to be aggressive from this stage in to try and claw a few back, and that's what he was trying to do off the tee there.
It's great to see the sheer number of spectators who are walking the course with you, Iona, and there's a real range of ages out there as well, which is great to see.
Absolutely. But look at this scene. I mean, isn't it marvellous? And they're coming every hole. There's probably 5 or 6, 7, 8 more people joining. They're flocking from all around. We got Clonmany in that direction, and here Ballyliffin. They're all coming down to see this exciting finish. And as you say, there's a real mix of ages. We've got little girls, little boys, and all the mums and dads and the grandpas, and We heard from Pat, the architect, earlier on. He celebrated his 80th birthday yesterday, and he's still out here walking around as well. So it really is a game for everyone.
No, that's brilliant. We'll let you catch up with the rest of them and get up to the green. Simon, we saw Clemons' shot again go much further away from the pin than he would have liked, and he's on the back foot again.
Yeah, just can't quite thread enough sequence of good shots, you know. It is unlucky to be in the bunker, but you know, you have to pick lines which probably make more sense. So he is up against it.
It's another hole where he's put pressure on himself. You know, in this situation now, he knows that realistically, this basically has to go in now, doesn't it? Really, I mean, Olesen has been putting so well this afternoon, especially, that to give him 2 putts to win the hole again, it's just, he's giving it away a bit too easily at the moment. Brilliant scenes. Here we go then. 5 down.
Come on, get there, get there, get there. Ooh, that's what he had to do. And that's...
I mean, that was a putt where
15 feet past.
He knew, didn't he, that that was sort of go in or bust, I think, which is why he gave that quite an aggressive hit, and he's conceded. That's just a practice putt from Olesen. So the Dane, again, with a 6-hole advantage now, 6 up with just 10 holes to go. The Amateur Championship title within his reach.
Aye.
So as we head over to the 9th, 456 yards, fairway really pinches in. It's going to be interesting to see this club selection for Olesen. He can be safe. For Clemons, what does he have to do? Does he have to take on those traps? You know, the more aggressive he is, the more risk he takes on. But he's going to have to gamble if he's going to turn this amount around. There it is. So you can play short of those traps. I'm sure that's what Olesen will do. Or you can try to take him on, which is maybe what Clemons has to do. There you can see there's plenty of room to attack anything on the back and the right of that green. Those 2 bunkers, as long as you're coming from the fairway, short of the green, will not come into play for our players. So Olesen has the honour back. And Clemons, he has to find some kind of a spark, or this is going to be mission impossible. George Harper is back in with me.
Back where I belong, Simon. And it looks like Olesen has found where he belongs as well. Links Golf, his first ever amateur championship. How impressive to see him perform like this on one of the biggest stages of all.
Interesting what he said, wasn't it? I wasn't ready for this before. He says, my game wasn't good, and now I'm ready. And it looks like he is. That's launched to the right. Okay. In between the 2 sets of traps and out of position, and now those 2 front bunkers really do come into play. Now, take advantage of the mistake. Come on. The low stinger.
This 9th fairway.
It's his go-to shot, isn't it?
Cruises in. See, there's a huge slope on that
there
left
we
side,
go.
funneling into the middle.
Yeah, it's really well played. I like that shot. So it's just been the few wides. Olesen has been fairly clinical. Certainly not spectacular, but he hasn't needed to be. No, it's just been a slow and steady clinic so far. And
And it's all on the line as we near the turn. The final time. Potentially the final time. You never know what happens in these championships. History books have thrown all sorts at us in the past.
The back right flag. There's a little runoff past that, which you have to be careful of. So, bunker is on the left. That's not in play today. So, for Olesen and the gang that follow him, everybody follows Olesen at the moment. And for Dominic Clemons, it looks very difficult to reverse that order at the moment.
It looks so very tough.
That would be an amazing football score that you see at the bottom there. I would like to have seen that the other day. England 52, Denmark 0. But it was not the case.
Far from.
Let's not talk about that anymore. As if my stomach just had a little reaction there. So.
Well, he's not the only Dane to be playing well. Rasmus Højgaard is currently one shot off the pace at the KLM Open, so a little bit of worldwide success there on the DP World Tour. I'm sure there'll be a lot of people from Denmark tuning into both channels now all of a sudden, but this one is right on the line right here, right now. Hopefully this is grabbing the attention of many around the world, and especially from Denmark as he makes some very, very big waves.
Yep, taking a little snack. It is really a marathon. You've just got to be able to manage your body. You've got a lot of nervous energy, but you need to be able to keep yourself hydrated. And lots of little snacks.
You mentioned snacks. I've got some inside oil that throughout the match play stages, Dominic Clemons has actually been having an ice cream at the halfway stage every single day, and his routine didn't change this afternoon. So it's been working until maybe now. But there's a superstition that he didn't know he had.
I like that. It's a freezing cold day. Anyway, here we go. Ball below his feet. That's going to make it more difficult for him. There are two big front bunkers. That's going to make it difficult. Got to get that carry. So ninth hole of the afternoon, 27th of the event.
Wow.
Got through that. He's played well out of the rough. He's hit a lot of good shots out of the rough. Now there is a big bunker, but I think he is more right.
Looks as though he's done an amazing job from there and given himself a really good look at up and down. This pin very accessible with his ball flight, playing that low fade.
Release, 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 release. Keep going, keep going. Okay, good shot.
Great shot, a much needed good shot. Almost reminds me of a Wyndham Clark type ball flight.
Ah, that's a great shout. Wyndham Clark type of body as well. Like that. Wyndham Clark versus Bubba Watson. Can you see that?
Yeah.
So.
I like that Bubba Watson one as well. But look at that pin height. Needed a good shot, didn't he, Simon? Really needed it.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, I know these are difficult shots, but been too many free holes. And Olesen is good, he's clinical, and so now he's just tightened it. Olesen's tightened it. He's taken less risk off the tee. He's put more balls into play. He's played from the middle of the fairway. His short game has been more or less faultless. He's had a couple of missed putts, but I mean, has done really nothing wrong. So, you know,
look at that. The crowds have gathered. Ballyliffin is booming.
Yeah, I mean, the thing for Clemons is he's made 8 bogeys and conceded a hole. You know, I mean, that's just too many errors. So that is the story of the final so far. We have got 10 holes to go. It can be reversed. That's what we're looking for, to see what the fight back's going to be, how he will respond. He has been in the most amazing form. Maybe he's run out of juice, Dominic Clemons, but let's see what we've got here. More short game skills needed from Olesen. He missed the front trap, and he came up just short of the left trap, so a little bit of rub of the green there. Caddy gives the final instructions. There we go. Beautiful turf, amazing presentation of the golf course. Sincere gratitude from everyone for the presentation of the golf course for this amazing championship. It's the Amateur Championships, the match. Beautiful hit. Little stun chip. It's a good response. I think that was a difficult shot. He will need to make that, you would think, to half the hole. So we don't know how long that is. 8 feet.
Dare to dream. We've seen some bigger comebacks in the past, and this hole right here could inspire one. Starting to line things up a little more. Look at those scenes. So nice to see. No ropes. That's got to go. That's got to go. It's got there. It's in! Huge moment. He's pumped up. A vital win for Clemons at a vital moment.
Yeah, that was exactly what was needed, wasn't it? This is beautiful. Good tee shot. Crucially, good second shot. Gave him the chance. And then the putter goes from ice cold to slightly warm. And we go into the back 9 of the final day of the Amateur Championship.
Wow. The man who just had a big moment. Let's go talk to him now while he's on fire.
When I look back on it in a couple of weeks, you know, making it to the final will be a good week. Played well at Muirfield a few weeks ago and then struggled at St Andrews. I haven't been playing my best while I've been here, but just seem to have done enough. Stroke play went pretty smoothly, got through comfortably, but then my first match was a little twitchy. I was down most of the game actually, hold apart on 17 to stay alive, and then hold a 23 on 18 to take it to the 19th hole. So if I didn't hold them parts, I wouldn't be sitting there now. Each game's been a bit scrappy really. I kind of just done enough, which I guess that's all you have to do in match play. I think when you get to the last 32, the standards, even the last 64, you know, the standards pretty good. And my dad, who's obviously caddying this week, gets a lot of stick, but he knows it's all at the moment. He's great, he's laid back. Sometimes it's good to have someone to just get intrusive thoughts out and just relax you a little bit once you get negative energy out. I wouldn't want anyone else, you know, on the bag for me. Growing up in Scotland, I've not played the courts, but I've been to the clubhouse and had a look, and it'd be a great place to have my open debut. Feel great to have the Amateur Championship trophy. If I leave here as a runner-up, I'll be disappointed.
Yeah, there's some fight in those eyes. What a charming guy. Come across really nicely. Father and son combo, you can't beat that. Robert McIntyre won his first victory with his dad on the bag. That was amazing.
Wasn't that special? Such a great family.
Is this the start of the fight back, George? Come on.
Well, it's a good hole to try and start it. The dog leg right the 10th. He can just play his natural fade, bend it with the fairway and get it up near the green. There's a greenside bunker here, which he's going to avoid. Look at this. Look at this, all of a sudden.
Go. How's that? Now, is that the start of the magic? Okay, now we're started. Here we go.
We're more than
what
started.
A shot.
He is an eagle putt on the
10th. 385, that is, to that flag.
Wow.
Okay.
2 big punches have just been thrown. My goodness.
Now, he will not know, Olesen, how close that is. Can't see the green. Plenty of speed on that. Slightly too much draw ball. Oh.
Don't keep walking. Turn around. Turn around.
So by that clump it was, went straight in, didn't it?
Yeah, if anyone needs help, just come and
give us
to
a
us.
call.
Wow. This could pretty quickly become 4.
Yeah, but that's what you've got to have. You've got to put some good shots out there. You know, you winning shots. You need winning shots, and he's got the capability to just hold his own. You don't want to sort of leave the tournament going, on the last day was rubbish. You know, that's not what you want. Here we go. This was a comeback shot. So front of the green is 370. You can see it hits on the concrete. Huge first bounce. Links ground. That is the surface that golf should be played on.
So timely to have a dog leg right for his fade.
Yeah, and look at that.
And win behind it.
How about that? Fortunes just starting to shift in the balance. George Harper.
Interesting times. The amateur always throws some curveballs at you.
Yeah, you don't get to hold a trophy without being triple tested to make sure you're the man. That's what's great about the R&A's events. At each level, they are the best. The men's amateur, the women's amateur, the Open, Senior Open, and all of the peripheral events, the pipeline that takes you up there. Ladders from the bottom to the top. Amazing.
Yeah, well, we were talking about margins of victory and how big they've got in the past. The largest ever was 14-13 by Lawson Little at Prestwick, but
back a wee bit there.
There's a reason that this is such a
that's grand.
fiercely fought competition, because in the last 20 years the biggest margin of victory has only been 6 and 5. So it always finds a way to tighten back up. And as you can see here, this is Dominic's route to the final. For me, the most impressive one there was James Ashfield, 4 and 3. James was in fine form himself, a Walker Cup player, and well, he quite frankly dealt to him, didn't he? Very impressive victory, and then a hard-fought extra holes against Shergan. But after that amazing tee shot, Iona is way down there. How amazing would that have looked?
Oh, absolutely incredible, George. And really, you do feel a turning of the tides, a shift in momentum. It was playing straight down the breeze this hole, so very inviting just to grip it and rip it off that tee. Meanwhile, for the Dane down the right-hand side, we have found a ball. Now, because we've had so much rain out here, there are parts of this golf course that are very soft, and there's a ball down the right that's almost semi-plugged. We're not exactly sure. We need him to identify it as his own ball. But if it is his ball, then he's facing a rather tricky shot, while the Englishman is sitting neatly below the hole.
Yes, we've got to remember that for it to be plugged, it actually has to broken the surface on the ground. Now, there's a lot of moss and a lot of moisture in the bottom, so you'll see the referee using a tee to get into the moss and check if he can slide the tee under the ball or through the moss surface. So more often than not, unfortunately, you won't get relief from here because it hasn't broken the surface of the ground.
It certainly didn't appear to bounce, did it? So it doesn't look like it's an amazing lie. It doesn't look like he's happy with it. His opponent is 15 feet underneath the hole for an eagle, so we'll give him the birdie. Olesen surveying his options. Clemons and his dad contemplating the comeback, because it will be some serious comeback. We love a contest here at the R&A. We like to triple test our champions. So it's all on you, Olesen. How are you going to respond now?
I cannot see him doing much with this. If he's worried about the lie like that, it must be so deep. Anywhere on the dance floor is good. And that's come miles out, and that could almost be a walk to the next tee and try and not give Clemons any momentum.
Imagine that came back. Hopefully nobody, that did not come off somebody. Hope everyone is okay in our lovely gallery. Certainly came out fast. Precious packages out watching this golf course.
In terms of, I guess, a little bit of jousting between players, obviously you want to give yourself a chance to hold this, which I'm sure he will. But almost sometimes you don't want him to have a chance at eagle and bin the eagle putt and chest is puffed out and full glory. You almost want to go, yeah, mate, all good. Let's walk to the next tee and forget about it.
Yeah, there's a little bit of fencing going on, isn't there? But I think you want to make everyone deserve it. You don't want to gift anything. It's too late for any kind of gift. So this is a birdie bunker shot, probably to tie the hole.
Well, we've seen him chip in on...
And a bit of faff, you know, he hasn't had faff for a little while, so there's a little bit of faff off the tee. There's a little bit of faff here. It's good that it can just, like, ruffle you.
Oh, you are kidding me! You are absolutely kidding me. He's done it again. And in the biggest of moments, he's pulled out an absolute beauty. Oh!
How about this? I mean, it is a beautiful shot, but it is hot, and it hits.
You wouldn't believe it. He chipped in on the par 3 fifth to break his heart, and he's done it again, even bigger this time. That is a massive, massive one to the heart.
A Danish Houdini.
An absolute
An escape
Houdini.
artist. Now, come on, do the business. You've still got a chance. Don't be impacted. Come on. Release, 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 release.
Wow!
Okay.
Oh!
Well done. Well done. Survived the body blow. That was amazing.
Things are cooking.
Yes. Let's go. Come on.
How about that for a hole of golf? We will remember the 10th for a long time. An eagle 2 for Clemons. Whew.
Well, these spectators are going to have a proper bird's eye view of some amazing drama, I feel, over this back nine. This was the putt after the genius drive. It was from the centre of the putter, wasn't it? It was great, great work.
That was a
but how about
divine
this?
stroke.
The only thing he had to do was make it. How about that? Bang. Have some of that.
That is some composure. To sit in the driver's seat and then see him hold that. To make your eagle putt. Wow. Just wrap that hole up and that can be the entire highlights reel. Fantastic.
Okay. 11. 4:15. The gallery's discipline just shaking a little bit as half of the gallery heads straight down the middle of the fairway.
Earlier this morning we saw him pull an iron off the tee and he's gone for it again because that bunker at 277 on the right is just in play. I just feel, whew, after that last tee shot where he got max power and found the green, he would have pulled it again, but calming the nerves, the blood's been pumping. Let's just get the chicken stick out and put one down the middle. Wow.
And how momentum changes. What a shot.
It's almost gone too, so you can see into that bunker.
Missed that. Yeah.
That is a beauty.
Well done, Dominic. Well done, mate. Here we go. Still very firmly in command of events over this back nine. Jacob Skov Olesen. Maybe a hair too much up the right. That's been the mistake. Will it come in off the cush? What sort of a lie will it get? It's not as easy to control the ball from that lie.
Olesen has to remain calm. He's got to remember he's 4 up on the back nine, so it's all very exciting and there's a lot of action going on, but look at the scoreboard, look at your position. You're 4 up entering the final 9 holes of the Amateur Championship.
I think
you're all good.
The biggest change is that Dominic Clemons now has some hope, right? He's got a little bit of something going there.
Hope.
And if he's an energy sort of guy and he can manage that and start to hit some winning shots, you know, what we just saw, the drive, amazing, right? The putt on the 9th, amazing. The drive on, I mean, it's like those are winning shots. You win holes with that. Here it is. So you can see what the guys were looking at. It's the bunker off the tee on the right there. It's cavernous. There's no way you can get up. The next 2 bunkers are not relevant for our players today. But that big trap that lurks on the front right could be problems for our current leader of this in command, Jacob Skov Olesen of Denmark. He would be the first Dane to win the most prestigious event that you can have as an amateur. Let's see if Iona is down there.
Yes, I am, Simon, and one down the right, one in the middle of the fairway. Now, this ball down the right-hand side is sitting in the first cut, and there is grass all surrounding it, so it's going to be tough to control the spin for this shot. It's just going to be a wedge, and again, we're playing straight down the breeze on this 11th hole. The flag's over in the right-hand side, tucked behind a huge bunker, so visually very intimidating shot. He's going to need lots of loft, lots of height, because that wind's going to be knocking it out of the sky, and I mean, from this angle, it doesn't look like he's going to have a huge amount of green to work with. So again, advantage to the Englishman.
Great stuff, Iona. Thanks for that update and insight. Fascinating to just know about the angles and the lies. And it's very much a geometry golf course, isn't it? Links golf course. The bunkers are the big penalties. There is the head of security just moving players around. Olesen is still comfortable, but definitely not as comfortable as he was half an hour ago. We've had the response that we needed from Dominic Clemons. 2 victories, 2 holes won in a row. And now there's the first little bit of friction, first ripples on the Olesen pond.
Just got a few goosebumps, Simon, listening to you say that, because you've got to remember these guys are young. They haven't been in this position before with such big prizes on the line. 3 major championships if you are to get through today, as well as putting your name on the Amateur Championship trophy. So he might be comfortable, but he's looking at the finish line and he's never ever visualized these rewards. So there is so much pressure on both golfers, and almost more now on Olesen, because Clemons has nothing to lose.
That's what's massive. So yeah. Okay, it's Olesen to go first. That's an advantage to Clemons, I think.
I agree. Iona mentioned the wind is right at their tail, so it's going to be so hard to get this ball to stop.
There's nothing over the back of this green, and that's maybe not a bad miss. Try to use height to help him. What a shot.
Wow.
What an amazing shot. You can see how fast that is. That's as close as you can hit the ball to the hole. That's an incredible shot.
Yeah, that'll certainly calm him down a little bit.
Super high quality. Now, this has got to be 5 feet and in. He's had a good shot. Spin, 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 spin. Maybe a little bit too much flighted down there. Needed the height on that.
I agree. Look to trap down on it and try and nip it, but with wind behind, that's a big ask. And remember, halves are wins for Olesen here.
Yeah, just
halves
take away
wins.
the chances. So, if you're a Clemons fan, you've got to be feeling as though that was a half of a wasted opportunity. You had to make a birdie there, really. There they are. There is magic in that game of Dominic Clemons. He has just come off the most amazing performance. Huge title he won the Men's Scottish Open at Muirfield. Won by 17 shots, shot 62. So you'd have to think very comfortable out on the links. 17 shot victory, shooting 6. I mean, that's a different mindset. Very few amateur golfers ever have a performance like that. So,
wow, the 62 he shot in the final round was a course record as well, I might add. A pretty prestigious golf course.
Oh, tremendous, you know, amazing. So now, we're thinking that Dominic goes first here. And every credit to Olesen. He's played a remarkable shot. We heard from Iona, little kind of bird's nest kind of a lie, difficult to control the spin, hoisted it up, carried the trap, landed it softly on a downslope. I mean, just a remarkable shot. So, Olesen is making it hard. How now are you going to respond?
These are the types of putts where he wants to be aggressive, but he's also got to be careful not to send it flying past. Nice
Come on,
touch.
take the break, take the break.
Nice touch.
It's okay. The wedge shot was from the fairway, was too far away. He knows it.
Yeah, I feel like he had faded and landed in the front portion of that green left of the trap, and
Almost like it was a bit too punchy, wasn't it? Like it just kind of, you know, I don't think he's got his best stuff for short at the moment because he's definitely out of sequence. We've seen a lot of right misses. He's almost had to play like a little bullet fade. So okay, well that trundles past. We'll have a look at that. Yeah, we'll have a look at that. We'll have a look at every 2-footer now. Where has he gone? Just asking verification that he has the right to repair a pitch mark. That's lovely. Some people would just repair it. Jacob Skov Olesen, made of the right stuff. Denmark can be proud of another golfing son. So, tidying up on 11. 4 up. Concentration must hold. Very steady. Very, very steady. Still, you have to say, Dominic has the momentum. Although there was a chink there, half a door opened. He didn't manage to push through it.
Dare to dream, though, of I've mentioned we've seen a fair few comebacks in the past, but none other than 2021 at Nairn, when Laird Shepherd came back from 8 down with 8 to play to win on the 38th hole. So Clemons has to channel his inner Shepherd and farm his way to victory.
Amazing scenes. Beautiful part of the world. It's rugged. Links golf. Always the scene of the Amateur Championship. Big group from Ballyliffin. And I think a little Gog Magog have come out to watch what has been a clinic. In the red shirt with the white hat, striding purposefully, is Jacob, and he has got an advantage. Here's the hole, George.
It's a big walk from the 11th to the 12th, a very challenging dog leg right. Clemons mentioned that this is his hardest hole on the course. If you clear the corner, it's so difficult to hold the fairway, and then 2 bunkers and a runoff all the way from back to front. So you must get the yardage right, because if you fall short, it will trickle back down to the front of the green. They've put the pin just 12 yards on and 7 from the front, 7 from the right, just to bring that into play. So very tough hole, but a beautiful view from this 12th tee box. Absolutely stunning. You can do a 360 turn and see the best of the region. I wouldn't be surprised if they both take driver over this corner here, try and take those bunkers out of play. See where that punter is on the right, just out of screen. You've almost got to go at that angle, if not that golf buggy.
Yeah, and it's interesting, you know, Olesen has a lot more choices now than Clemons. Verification from his dad.
Look how high he tees this one up.
Yeah, you've got supporters and then you've got your dad.
Well, it wasn't long ago he looked a bit like Bambi on ice, but now things have turned a little bit, a bit of composure, and he's showing signs of a fight back.
Yeah, you've got to have a fight back. There we go, final instructions. Come on, my boy.
Do as you're told.
Straight on the corner.
Yeah, look at that ball, that is riding high.
There's some talent here, look at the
Don't
speed.
overhit it.
Oh, great ball follow.
Is it going to clear the corner? Oh, that would have looked so good for so long, but I'm not quite sure he's cleared it.
Looking for a signal. The signal is he did not clear the corner.
Sometimes when I see that, I'd expect a club change almost here, but he's kept sticking to his driver a few times today. Ooh. Clemons is standing pretty close to him here.
Clemons just moved there, maybe just caught his eye.
Yeah, he's in his back pocket. Big teapot, trying to get some physical presence maybe.
Yeah. Didn't move early, didn't he? So
that too has gone into the thick stuff. I just think that's, I'd like to see a little bit more maturity there, but, oh, hold on. Hold the phone. We might need to see that again. I don't know how he's ended up there. If so,
Yeah, but we might have had a peripheral view there.
Yeah.
So that looks as though that's the ball that's got the line around it. So that is the ball. That's Olesen's ball.
Right, the cameras have confused me there, but if that is Olesen's ball, that is a sensational shot, and why wouldn't you hit it?
Yeah, it's only 450, isn't it? So
he had every option possible off the tee, but he's stuck to his guns and looks like he's absolutely blasted it down there. Let's try and clear this up, because that one's done a bit of wizardry on us. Here's Harry Potter himself, a little fade off the tee. The ball's in the clouds somewhere. And yes, oh yay, it is his. That is a huge shot. And could it be the killer blow? Avada Kedavra. What a fantastic drive. He has bombed it well over the corner, and now it's all about where Clemons' ball is. Can he find it? Can he have some sort of golf shot? Iona, what on earth is going on down there?
I can update you, George, that Clemons is down the right-hand side, and it's a shame he's not left-handed, because if he was, he would have a stance at this ball. Unfortunately, because he's going to be playing as a right-hander, this ball is stuck up on a plateau and his feet are going to be way below him, so he's going to have the club almost up at hip height, not quite, which is going to make an almost impossible shot. It's just going to be a wedge. You can see he's coming in now. It's lying okay. Wind's coming off the right-hand side, and the flag up there, slightly elevated green, and the flag's over on the right hand side, but it's really all going to be about the strike. Can he strike this ball? Can he get something on it? Going to be a lot of loft in his hand and require a bit of magic right about now.
He certainly is. We just saw some magic from his opponent, but you're right, Iona, this stance is going to be funky. He has to grip down his club a little bit. Wow, this is tough. This is going to go high into the sky. He's got to be careful he doesn't hoop this with the club face and go way left here. It's going to go so high off that. Yeah, and left he goes, but pretty good effort, to be fair. He's going to find himself in a bit of trouble, but he just could not do much from there, could he, Andy Stevenson?
Another couple of feet on his drive would have made all the difference. He would have been in A1 position. It's a cruel game, as we all know, but it's also a wonderful game. And look at the pleasure all of these people and all of you watching with us, I'm sure, are getting from this Amateur Championship final, which has lived up to its billing so far.
This is a huge shot, a chance to put the foot on the throat and end all doubt. Whoa, 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 whoa. I mentioned there's a slope there. And he hasn't taken it into account. Still a very nice shot, and below the hole means for a relatively easy two-putt.
I still can't get over that hole a couple of holes ago where Olesen holed his bunker shot, but then Clemons responded with a brilliant hole-winning putt himself. They could stick that on a DVD and sell it in the club shop, I tell you. That was fantastic.
Yeah, look at this. I did say there was a false front, and if you're going to spin the ball, you've got to play for it. And this is unfortunately just grabbed a little too much. but he has been very, very good with a wedge in hand today.
If that hadn't spun back, that was 5 up. That was absolutely nailed on 5 up if it hadn't spun back like that. So,
yes,
significant moments.
Would love to know what his lie's like over that far side of the green, because it still could be 5 up. Okay, there's a bit to work with. There's certainly some green to work with, so if your short game ever needed to turn up, now's the time. Look at this though, everything's running away from him. It's going to be so hard to get the distance right here. No glove. Pops it up nicely. Roll out, roll out, roll out. Wow. That is a long way short. He's going to need another clutch putt, much like his eagle putt. But now Olesen just has to lag this dead. Nicely done, very nicely done, left it below the hole.
As George keeps saying, halves the wins at the moment for Jacob. He gave it a good go, but it sailed on by. That was for a par. I think it might well be Clemons again for a bogey. Okay, so make sure of the bogey, but Olesen, you can see his marker, only a couple of feet away from the hole. A par would put him back to 5 up with 6 holes to play. One hand on the trophy time if this goes in.
The maths is getting easier if you're a Denmark fan. This moment right here to make it 5 up with 6 to play. Ooh! He uses every bit of the hole required, but he strides to the 13th with a 5 up lead.
The 13th, unlucky for some. Could it be the hole where Olesen wins this amateur championship? 30 holes played today. 7 rounds of golf played before today. And there's no doubt that great courses produce great champions. And whoever ends up the victor here in the next, well, the next couple of hours, in the next 20 minutes maybe, will be a great champion.
Yes, well, if Olesen was to win this, it would be done and dusted. 6 up, 5 to play. So for everyone at home, for everyone on course, this could be our final hole. Can Dominic Clemons extend this match, keep the fight going? It would be rather fitting with the most beautiful hole on the course here. Looking back over Glashedy Island. One more big drive, but he's gone left. Sorry, right. But the par 5 is almost a 3-shotter today, so should be manageable. Here we go. Clemons now. He has joined him. He is looking to join him. There is some dunes which have helped in the past, and they're going to help again. This hole funnels up the hill, and that is absolutely fine.
He's also playing to become the second Olesen at Royal Troon in a couple of weeks. Thorbjorn already qualified for the Open, as are the Højgaard brothers. So he would become the 4th Danish player in the Open Championship lineup.
4's a good number. It's a very healthy number.
He's not quite there yet, but within touching distance, definitely. As you say, George, probably the most picturesque of 18 picturesque holes here on the Glashedy Links. They all have something special about them, but you can't argue with that view, can you? Looking back down the 13th fairway.
It's been absolutely stunning, and here is the 13th hole, cruising up through the gorgeous dunes. Those bunkers are sitting at about 250, so on most days they clear that, no worries, and then it funnels up. Get your hiking boots, because it's a big walk up to one of the highest points on the Glashedy Links. Now with that pin on the TV, there is a big drop off which goes down towards the front, but today the pin is 23 yards on and 9 from the right, which brings that back right hand bunker into play. But here's Iona to give us a little rundown of the scenario.
Thank you, George. Yes, this time it's the Englishman who's got a little bit of a kick off the back of this bunker, and he's in a very good position down there. He's looking at getting home on this par 5. In the case of Jacob, he's down the right-hand side, and he's just in some light rough. It's lying okay. You don't have to worry too much. There's a little bit of grass behind the ball, but he can get something nice and clean on it. The ball is going to be below his feet. He's looking to probably draw something in. He's completely blind to the green from here, and he's got around about 152 yards to the front of it, but it all plays uphill and slightly back into the breeze, so it's a long, long way to go for the man from Denmark.
Okay, so the lie looks all good, but it's all about the ball being below the feet. Such a big shot up the hill, way up the hill. So he's going to have to potentially just lay up here, take his medicine, and give himself the best chance of a potential par, especially when you're 5 up in the amateur final.
Iona mentioned that Clemons' ball took a sideways kick to avoid the bunker. I think we just caught a glimpse of his ball up by a couple of the spectators at the edge of the fairway. So I think Clemons in good shape.
Also a bit of an uphill slope as well, so this is going to launch into the wind and the ball could really whip it off course, so he just has to play the safest shot in the bag. Pick your favourite club, nudge one low, run it up there, just get yourself back in this hole.
A reminder of the state of play. 5 up for Olesen on what is now hole 31 here. So not far to go at all. Deep in thought, Dominic Clemons just wanting to get on with things and play his shot. I think this is obviously one of the issues of being quite a quick player, that you're inevitably going to end up waiting a lot.
His thoughts are probably quite aggressive about getting on with it. Take all the time you need, I say. You are in control. He's got 3-wood, wow. He must be confident with the lie, confident with the opportunity here. This is a big play. This is a huge play with the wind humming into his face. Be careful, son. They are really looking with concern.
Look at those spectators over on the left, the way they're just... They were sort of moving to get a better look at where the ball landed, I think, which is well wide, if that's the case. Let's wait and see.
Here's a big 3-wood. Has he got enough on it? Can he play the shot of a lifetime? We heard a thud which sounded like the short grass, and then there you might be able to see a little glisten of a golf ball. Hello, hello in there. Looks like he can drop the club on that. I'd say that's a great shot. A little unlucky, but a good shot, a good opportunity.
Well, we wait to see exactly where Olesen is, because that will be the key here to how this hole is going to pan out. This is Clemons, where he's ended up, so just where the tall grass starts to sprout up, but as George says, he should be okay there. He's obviously not going to give the ball much power from that distance, so a little dink out of there should be okay.
You can see the undulations of this green sloping from back to front, so he's going to have to just knock that on the head and roll it out, and look at that little top plateau that he's got to get it onto. Not going to be an easy up and down, that is for certain. But I'm looking forward to seeing where Olesen is, because that is going to paint the picture for the result on this hole.
It's just the way the clump of spectators on that hill up on the right are looking away from us.
Looks like Jordan Spieth.
Exactly.
Royal Birkdale.
I think Olesen's ball is up there where the buggies are heading, just from the body language of the spectators in that area, which means he's in trouble basically.
I would be very disappointed if he's put himself in trouble here. Let's go down to the ground and see what we've got.
Well, it's good news if you're a Jacob Olesen fan, because his ball is lying A-OK. He is up here, more or less, on the 14th tee box. It's just to the right-hand side of it, and it's lying pretty nicely. And believe it or not, he can actually see the flag from here, and he's probably got at least 15 yards of green to work with. Wind's buffeting off the right, so he needs to be mindful of that. But as far as what you could have found up here, there's lots of thick grass, there's hay everywhere. He'll be saying thank you to the golfing gods.
Well, they say luck of the Irish. It is luck of the Dane. That is incredible.
Oh, that's a result. That really is, because as you can see, a couple of feet to his left, and he's deep in that thicket of grass.
Honestly,
where all the spectators are. That is a real turn of good fortune.
Let's flip that on its head. If you're Dominic Clemons right now, you are ropeable. That is absolutely barbaric that you've hit it almost off planet Earth and you've got a lie like that. What? He just can't get a break. And he probably won't be able to see where he is right now. You won't see that he's sitting pretty. Wow. Now all of a sudden he's probably going to knock one into the wind, bite, spin, and have a 6-footer for birdie.
Well, I said 13th, unlucky for some. Maybe it's been unlucky for Clemons.
Right, a very pivotal moment. If he can get this relatively close, he could really, really put this out of doubt. Third shot into the par 5. Oh, look at that. He's done all he needed to do. Needs to sit there. There's a little drop off, but from where he was after his second, that is very good. And now pressure is fully on Olesen, Clemons.
Oh, that was a chop. A chop out. Oh, he's not going to be happy with that at all.
Wow.
So they are both there for 3. But the problem is Clemons needs to be winning holes and winning holes fast at the moment. Remember, if Olesen wins this hole, then it's all over.
Right.
If the hole is halved, Olesen is Dormy 5.
You want me to move the coin or towards you? That one.
Right. What a scenario we have on our hands here. The 129th Amateur Championship is all on the line right here, right now. You get the sense that there is one more hole in this. It's a tricky part for either of them to knock in, but the Dane is going to get a very, very good bit of journalism done on this first putt. And could that be enough? Could that be enough? Ooh. He's given it a good run and he's left himself some work to do, but all of a sudden, Jacob Skov Olesen has a putt to win the Amateur Championship. $288 players arrived at the start of this week, and it's been a pleasure to watch these two go toe-to-toe today. Andy Stevenson, could this be the blow?
We know it could be, don't we? Because he has knocked a few of these in from this kind of range. And we know he will take his time quite fairly over this one. This could be a life-changing putt.
So many feet, so many moments he's made on the greens this week. He's chipped in not long ago from the bunker. He's got a superb highlights reel, and can he finish it in style right here? Taking his time. Olesen to win the Amateur Championship. Oh, so nearly did he get it done there. And he's conceded that putt. Clemons needs to hold his nerve here. To stay in the match. Well done, well done. Thank you, kind sir, for sinking that. But that's a halved hole, which means Olesen is 5 up with 5 to play. Whew. Never like seeing them end on a missed putt, do we?
No, I have to say we wouldn't have wanted to see either player win because the other one missed. You want that moment of glory, don't you? So Dormy 5. And this is a tough psychological situation now for Clemons. I mean, to a certain extent, he can go for broke, but I don't think it's going to be his day. Not least because Olesen has finished well. Certainly in both rounds yesterday and this morning he finished reasonably strongly. So we know he likes these closing holes.
Yeah, that's exactly right. He has got the business done at the back end of this Glashedy Links course. Beautiful par 3. He just needs to halve this hole. Chuck it in the middle of the green, take your 2-putt and force Clemons to do something tremendously special.
One good tee shot might be enough.
Sit down, there's a bunker here. There is a bunker at the back. And he is in it. Door ajar.
This is hole 32 of the final. Clemons hasn't been ahead since hole 4. He won the 3rd hole this morning, and walking up the 4th he was ahead. But not since then has he been in front.
So difficult with the wind behind them. And at the front of this green as well, which you might not be able to see on your cameras, the front of the green slopes away from the players, so towards the Atlantic, which means the first kick is always pretty dominant. So you've got to try and hug this back slope. He has slung this out to the left, fading it back. Is it fading enough?
Nope.
Out. And it holds on by the barest of margins. Aggressive line. You can hear the energy, you can feel the buzz around that crowd now. They know that something is very near happening.
But the reality is, though, George, that you would feel Dominic Clemons may have to hold that. At Dormy 5 down, we've seen the skill of Olesen out of the bunkers. I mean, crikey, he might pop that one in from the bunker as he did a few holes ago, which would really be a way to win a title. But you kind of back Olesen maybe to still get a par from where he is, which means that Clemons is going to need a birdie. One final look of the week at this beautiful 14th. So Olesen in the bunker over the back and Clemons right down the left-hand side in that massive gully. Beautiful hole.
Jacob Olesen through the back of this green and in one of these cheeky little pot bunkers. You couldn't really ask for a better lie. It's sitting up plump, ever so slightly on a little bit of a downslope, which is going to make it a trickier shot. And when he brings it up and out of this bunker, it's going to be landing on a downslope also, which means it's going to be pretty hot towards this flag. The good news for the Dane is he's playing back into the breeze, straight back into it, so he can be nice and aggressive. And we've seen some short game magic from him today already, so I expect much of the same coming up.
Yeah, into the wind is the only thing helping, but as Iona mentioned, we've seen some magic. And it wouldn't surprise us if we saw a little bit more here. But you can clearly see the scenario that awaits. You'd expect Clemons to make up and down, or 2 putts, so he knows the assignment.
Meanwhile, here is Clemons' view of things. You can see the bank he's got to contend with, and I thought he was going to step up to the ball and hit it there for a moment. He wouldn't have surprised any of us, but he is taking one more look. I imagine it will be Olesen to hit first, of course, though.
What's the score?
Someone's not watching the R&A TV stream. The score has popped up and it is 5 up. Sir?
The kids have got a great view of this one, look.
Wow. They could witness history here if this goes in. Bite, needs to bite. Valiant effort, very difficult shot. Door is slightly ajar.
There's somebody to make the bunkers, right?
Well, these two both study and play over in the USA. This will be a Hollywood moment for Clemons if he can knock this one in from the fringes. Take us to the 15th. Hello.
Might go in.
Hello. It does go in.
Oh, what a time for a birdie. Dare to dream. We aren't done yet.
Dormy 5 down, now Dormy 4 down. He's still in it. Well played, Dominic Clemons.
Wow, this game keeps on giving. So many highlights this afternoon. Look at this, grabs the left edge of the hole and drops. Wow, a birdie of all birdies, but is it too late? He's starting to throw some punches back.
And that's gritty, isn't it? And it's good to see, isn't it? Because, you know, whatever happens now, even if he goes on to lose this championship, which is still odds on that is going to be the result, just moments like that and the many little comebacks he's staged over the last hour or so, it just shows how gritty Clemons is. He's a real competitor, and I've got no doubt he's going to go on to have a very successful pro career. And that will be a moment to remember for him as well, and his family and supporters wherever they are. So we move on to the 15th hole. 4 holes to go, or more, if Clemons decides to win all 4 of these remaining holes, of course. We would go to extra holes. But for the time being, he's 4 down with 4 to play.
I've been to a lot of amateur championships, and I am certainly not counting this game over, Red Rover. Oh, I just got a little bit of goosebumps. Big tee shot on the hardest hole here on the Glashedy Links. So difficult to pick up out of the clouds. No claps, no round of applause. Traditionally, and I believe even earlier this morning he lost it outright, so that is our predictions. Now, knowing Olesen, he'll have his little handy, his trusty 3-wood in his mitts. Just needs to halve 1 more hole to book his place in 3 major championships. They always watch the ball so closely in the big moments, and he too has gone right. Provisional coming out. Okay, well that says a story. That does say a story on its own. Could this be the end of must find his first ball? Must get it back in play.
Isn't it always the way? If that avoids the bunker, isn't it always the way? The provisional is an absolute belter of a drive.
Yeah, you'll find that one, no worries at all. Well, it's going to be a long 300-yard walk to try and find his first ball.
Yeah, it's right there next to the bunker. Oh, I didn't see the first.
Well, you take your hat off to both of these players, don't you? They've they've given us some brilliant golf, not just today, but over the last week.
They certainly have. And this 15th hole coming back towards the Atlantic Ocean. Look at that, Glashedy Island in the distance. The hardest stroke hole for the members. Those two bunkers in the middle of the fairway, they are 300 to clear, so it's a long way down. And then look at this, littered with bunkers around the green. The pin today is 7 on and 8 to the left, so those 3-pot bunkers are certainly in play. A delightful hole. Every hole here is simply stunning, but this is one of the best out there. So let's get straight down there live with I Own It.
Yes, I can update you, George, that the ball of Olesen is down the right-hand side, just over the bunker, and it's lying in some pretty thick rough, but not the seriously thick stuff. He definitely can get a club on the back of this ball, and he's got a good line to the green from here. However, if you turn around and take a look at what's going on, there's a huge search party looking for the Englishman's ball. Dominic's first one went down into this much thicker stuff, and it's Alcatraz. Back to you guys.
Yeah, well, it's like throwing darts in the dark out there. Good luck.
Well, he'll be desperate to find it though, won't he? Because even though his provisional was a great drive, it would obviously be his fourth shot if he has to go for that provisional rather than his second out of this thick rough. And it's nice to see Olesen helping to find that ball. That graphic tells its own story, doesn't it, in this second session of 18 holes. 2 up, 3 up, 4 up, 5 up, 6 up, and then holding on to a commanding lead all the way through to where we are now. And there is an army of people looking for this ball.
Knowing this Irish crowd, they'll want to see more golf, so they'll all be searching extremely hard for this ball. There's Connor Finlay, part of the rules team with the R&A. He'll have the stopwatch on. 3 minutes is the maximum search time. And, well, this picture, it says a lot. The crowd helping. Clemons looks to have found something. Unsure if it's his ball, so he's just going to mark and check. Could this be the slice of luck required? Here's the stopwatch of the referee.
Well, when you know that you've been the only match out there, then chances are that is your ball, unless
wow.
one of the members' balls has been left in there from around about a fortnight ago. So,
and it is his ball, and once again, he's trying to see if it's plugged. But I can't visualise that breaking the surface, and that referee is once again getting his tee out, and he can push his tee through the moss to check if the surface is broken, and if it isn't, unfortunately, he's going to have to put it straight back in there. Tough break, but he's found it. He has found it.
Well, even if he just manages to get some sort of club on it and bunt it back out onto the short stuff and then hit his third shot onto the green, it's still better than taking the provisional option. Yeah, but of course now he's found the ball that he wouldn't be able to do that anyway, so he's sort of stuck, isn't he?
We've got to remember that Olesen is a long way back. He's just around that first bunker and with a tough lie, so he is going to have to chunk this out and just try and get anywhere near the green to make up and down.
Meanwhile,
it's so hard to judge what's going to happen when you make contact with the ball.
I thought Olesen was going to go ahead and take his second shot there, but now I'm not so sure. Changing his club.
Yeah, he needs to get a more loftier wedge in hand. Yeah, that looks like a little bit more.
Still quite an intense conversation going on between Clemons and the referee. Can't quite hear what they're saying, but there is a big discussion going on.
He's struggling to work out if that's his ball. Interesting. Very interesting. Either way, Olesen is going to play his second shot. Just get this somewhere down there. Oh.
Well, the interesting thing is if he... Yeah, okay. I was going to say, if he could reach the green and got it anywhere near close, then you could argue that that would be game over anyway.
That's all he needed to do is keep it in play. Try and get a 5. And as you saw there, they're trying to work out if the ball is plugged. It has to be embedded in the surface. There's a lot of top moss above the ground here, so they'll get a second opinion. Connor Finlay of the R&A coming in now. He is the chief referee this week, and you can imagine that Dominic Clemons is trying to plead his case, and fair enough, Olesen's coming for a look. And unfortunately, I believe he's telling him that it's not embedded in the surface, it's just embedded in the moss on top of the surface.
I think we can probably hear them now.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that is clarifying that he will not get relief. Unfortunately, that has been the theme of the week when you go into this thick, juicy rough. And unfortunately, it could be his championship.
To be honest, just between the looks between father and son there, I think they're actually still waiting for something.
I think he's just going to have to chop this out straight left and back himself to make up and down for par from distance. You must give yourself a chance. They're trying to work out the best way to play this. He might even have to play this backwards.
It's worth remembering, of course, he needs to win this hole, a half, and the championship is over. So that's why this is so critical, because to be honest, especially because we've seen Olesen's shot go short of the green, then this is crucial for Clemons. We can head back down to Iona to get the very latest.
Yeah, it's just unlucky. I mean, down this rough, down the right-hand side, it's luck of the golfing gods. You can get an okay lie, but he just has the worst lie you could even dream of. It's just in such thick stuff, and now it's really just about minimising the damage. He's got as much loft as he possibly can, and he's going to try and whack it out to the left, almost a 90-degree angle. And there's a big bunker down there, which is very much in play. He's going back to the bag, and he's getting the driver, which looks like he may have to take a drop, and going for perhaps the unplayable.
Yep, that is the case. He's found a little opening in the rough where he might get a swing on the ball, but this really is unfortunate. This could be the championship right here. Oh, this is a very tough pill to swallow for the young Englishman. And it's a slow and painful process at such a big time, and he's just searching for that perfect place to drop it where he can try and get good contact and maybe make an up and down of a lifetime. It looks to be sitting okay, but his back is against the wall. What a tough break. And
I mean, there's a scenario here where we might get to the handshake stage before they even take their putts, which would be a sad end, but let's see how things pan out. We've seen some incredible recovery shots over the years in various different forms of golf. This would be up there in the ranks of the great recovery shots if he can get this anywhere near the green, to be honest. But that's what he needs to do. He needs to win this hole to keep the championship alive. He's 4 down, 4 to play, including this hole. And as we pan back, you can see he's still got quite some distance to go. This is not just a case of a simple little shot into the green. He's got quite some distance.
So 1, drop 2, playing his 3rd. up and down for a par of a lifetime, but a bogey is, it's not dead and buried, but come on, Dom. Oh, get up, get up. Oh, he's given himself the smallest chance. What a shot from in there.
Well, that is a touch of brilliance, isn't it? That was virtually a machete out of the rough.
Well, 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 it just puts enough pressure on his playing partner. That for a par. Look how much effort, look how much power it has to go through this shot to hack it out there, and he has done that beautifully. Wow. That's 1 or 2 yards away from really kicking up there.
And the great thing is, George, that gives us a finish. You know, that gives us a conclusion here, potentially. If the match is to finish on this hole, we're going to see some putts. It asks the question of Olesen.
Now, any day of the week, this is a very tricky little shot. He's got a little slope, and then as you saw with Clemons' ball, there is a ridge at the front of this green, so he's going to have to almost bump it into that and slash or fly it high and over this pin.
So Clemons is 3 there at the front of the green, and this is Olesen's 3rd shot.
Looks like he is doing that little bump and run type swing, which he's played to great success this week. Just get this on the green. Anywhere on the green and the championship could be yours. Beautiful rhythmic hands and a beautiful result. That's all he needed to do. Wow. This is big time stuff.
That's the first time we've seen the distance, really, that Clemons, a true picture of the distance that Clemons has with this putt from the front fringe, because from behind the green it looks much closer than it is, but the reality is that Clemons almost certainly has to hold this.
It's uphill. He's given himself a chance. On this particular hole, he's done all he could from that horrible lie. What drama it would be. He made a mountain of a putt on the last hole. Can he build the energy? Can he muster up the strength to do it again here on 15? It's a lot smaller than the last one he made.
Oh, this is great drama, isn't it? Great, great drama.
Here we go. Clemons now. A putt for par and to stay in the fight. Looks to be low side. A valiant effort, but that means Olesen just needs to 2-putt here, and the championship is his. Andy Stevenson, how nervous is he now? 2 putts to win it.
I think he's actually going to be super confident here. He's a confident young man. I don't think he lets much faze him. And 2 putts, he would have taken this all week, wouldn't he?
That's right. Here he is, Jacob Skov Olesen, taking his time. He has 2 putts to win the Amateur Championship. So many eyeballs at home in Denmark. It's on its way, and it is near dead. destiny for Denmark. Jacob Skov Olesen has won the 2024 Amateur Championship, the first Dane in history to do so. Congratulations and welcome to the most prestigious winner's circle of all.
There it is, confirmation, 4-3 victory over Dominic Clemons. And this young man has just booked his place at Royal Troon for the Open Championship. He's booked his place at Augusta for the Masters. He's booked his place at the US Open next year as well. And he is the winner of the Amateur Championship. And he had this 2-putt in the end to do it, but he has played some wondrous shots, hasn't he, today?
What a day and what a moment for Denmark golf. No one from his nation has ever achieved this. And the man of the moment is with Iona right now.
Jacob, huge congratulations. You have become the first man from Denmark to win the Amateur Championship here in Ballyliffin. Can you describe how you're feeling right now?
It's kind of tough. It hasn't really sunk in. I think I was getting a little stressed there. You don't want to start throwing away a couple. And yeah, when that putt ran by, I kind of knew that I had 2 forward, and I was just gonna take 2. But yeah, I'm so happy and so proud. I'm so thankful for everyone and my caddy as well. He's done a great job, and yeah, just overwhelming emotion, I think.
Understandably. We want to know what you did at lunchtime, because you seem to come out after whatever you ate, we don't know. We want to know the secret. All guns blazing. There was no stopping you. How did you reset your mind at that stage in the game?
Yeah, I had a Coke and a burger. Hit a couple balls, so felt fine. I think just maybe a little bit of nerves there around the end, and I just told myself just need to put the step on the gas and not really let him in, and just kind of see the match as being all square still, or from the second 18, and hit a lot of great pitch shots there and chipped in, which was really nice as well. And yeah, I think it's just trusting the process, trusting just playing golf and believing in yourself. It doesn't really matter what happened 2 hours ago. I've hit so many good shots all week, so that's all I thought about, just do that again.
And listen, your schedule in the next year is looking pretty good. 3 major championships, you're on your way, including the Open next month at Royal Troon. How excited are you about that opportunity? I'm
really excited. That was going to be my one-off week the next 8-9 weeks, and now it's not. So, but that's a pretty damn good problem to have, I would say. So I'm really happy. I'm can't really believe that that's true, but that's what you dream of, getting to play, and now I can get to do that. So I'm really happy.
We will all be there to support you. Many, many congratulations, Jacob.
Thank you. Thank you.
A deserving golf clap. Jacob Skov Olesen is a champion. And look, I know we've stolen your week off with Royal Troon, but I'm pretty sure you'll find another week off. You don't need to play much more, because you have booked your ticket in one of the biggest majors in the world. What a day for Denmark.
He's a very charming young man, isn't he? He says the right things. He's got a sense of humour, and these were the winning moments for the 25-year-old Dane from Roskilde.
Wow. How someone's life can change in one day. This moment, it'll be echoing through his local town back home. From Roskilde, Denmark. He is 88th in the World Amateur Golf Rankings. He is going to rocket up a few more after his efforts this week. Can you believe that 288 players started the week here at Ballyliffin? And now Jacob Skov Olesen stands alone as your champion with a 4-3 victory over Dominic Clemons, who put up a great fight, showed some superb golf throughout the week, a deserving finalist. Unfortunately for him, he falls just one short.
But you know, Clemons has got to take heart from the likes of Tommy Fleetwood, Robert McIntyre, who have finished runner-up in this event and then gone on to great success as professionals. I mean, even when we look back at the quarter-finalists, semi-finalists yesterday, there are some great players within this field. Only one of them can win, of course, but some great players all the way down the field. Even, you know, going back to Conor Graham, who won the stroke play stage of this event. There are so many players who have been here at Ballyliffin this week who are going to go on to great things in this sport, and they'll all look back on this as a memorable week, I'm sure.
He absolutely will. He absolutely will. Players who make it to the semi-finals also get an invitation to a Challenge Tour event, and he'll have final qualifying as well. So, whew, it's been a huge week.
I imagine that Jacob is going to have a few messages on his phone asking like who he's planning to use as caddy at Troon and at Augusta next year. It was Jamie Nielsen, his friend and peer, colleague really, from Danish tennis. Nielsen played in this event himself earlier in the week and was knocked out. I wonder whether he is at the head of the queue to be Jacob's caddy in a few weeks' time. We'll see how that one pans out.
Well, what I love seeing when the amateur champion comes to the Open is actually their practice rounds as well. They get to play with some really cool people. I'm sure the Højgaards and the other Danish players, if there are any in the field, will be looking to play a practice round with them, help them out, show them around the ropes. And there is Glashedy Island. We've had amazing views of that throughout the week, and I'm sure there is going to be a fantastic photo of Jacob Skov Olesen holding the trophy, and that in the backdrop. Next week, there is plenty more golf. You thought it was exciting. This week, there's more to come. The Women's Amateur Championship is in Portmarnock, Ireland, just down the road. The men's amateur was there in 2019, and now it's the women's turn to take over town. So there's more golf, more coverage for you this time next week as well.
Well, it has to be said that Ballyliffin should be congratulated. Everybody involved with the club has put on a great show this week, both in fair weather and foul. The course has been set up perfectly, and you saw the great galleries that were out with this final, especially this afternoon. And they will have a trophy presentation to look forward to reasonably shortly. I think my outstanding memory of today's play is going to be the bunker shot from Olesen, followed by the putt from Clemons. That was great. And then Clemons putt on, what was it, hole 14?
14.
From off the green. That was superb, it really was.
Yeah, that was a magical 10 or 15 minutes of television. So many great highlights from today, so many great highlights from the entire week. If you've missed any coverage, please check out all the highlights on the RNA YouTube, RNA TV, and obviously working tirelessly throughout the week has been the social media team as well. So check out the Instagram, check out the TikToks, the Twitters, you name it, it's all there. I know for a fact that team in the media centre have been working tirelessly and providing all the content you need throughout this amazing championship, and not in the easiest of conditions as well. We were lucky today that the alluring links weren't impeded by any rain, and it was a true test, just what the doctor ordered.
Oh boy, was it a test. Yeah, 9 rounds in the end. These two have played this week, 2 rounds of stroke play and 7 rounds of match play, and yesterday just shocking weather conditions yesterday to battle with, and that's another good thing about today's action. It's all taken place in much better weather conditions, brighter, it's shown off the course to much better effect. And yeah, you think about the Højgaard brothers and Thorbjørn Olesen and Thomas Bjorn and other great Danish names and faces down the years, and maybe we will speak about Jacob Olesen in the same vein. He's also going to get his hands on a beautiful trophy, by the way, so that will take pride of place in the Olesen family trophy cabinet, I'm sure. But we will be sad to bid farewell to Ballyliffin. It's been a beautiful stage for a fantastic championship.
Whew. A thing of beauty. The northwest of Ireland has played a fantastic role in writing a new script here this week. And there it is, the prize that awaits Jacob Skov Olesen. So many great names have lifted this trophy aloft. Look at that, so many great winners. And you mentioned where they're all from. This is the first time there's going to be a Denmark name on the honours board. What a special moment. Glistening.
You know you've won something special when the first winner was back in 1922. That's fantastic.
Well, this is what they have been fighting for all week. And as you can see here, Neil Donaldson, captain of the RNA, has joined Iona Stephen and our champion. Iona, take it away.
Thank you, George. Yes, the time has come to award our winner the trophy, and to do that we have Neil Donaldson, the captain of the Royal and Ancient Golf Club of St Andrews. Neil, over to you.
Here he is, ladies and gentlemen. The 129th Amateur Championship is now in the hands of Jacob Skov Olesen from Denmark. He is the first to come from Denmark and claim one of the most prestigious prizes in amateur golf. Congratulations. Enjoy what will be one of the most special years of your young life. Look at that trophy, enjoy it. It is all yours after one of the biggest weeks. So much golf, and many, many congratulations. Look at that. So many photographers, so many snappers enjoying it. There it is. Lap it up. You have deserved it. Just one remains standing here at the Ballyliffin Golf Club. And now one of my very good friends has sent through a message from Denmark itself.
Jacob, what a performance. The first Danes win the British Amateur. Can just say on behalf of every single Danish golfer, we're so proud of you. An amazing achievement. Enjoy the celebrations.
Thank you very much, Thomas Bjorn. Lovely message from a lovely man. And there is his caddy to enjoy the spoils. Every photo will be framed and put on the wall, no doubt. That smile is impossible to wipe off the face of Jacob Skov Olesen and his many family and friends back home in Denmark. He is locked in a place at Royal Troon next month as well as Augusta in April and the US Open. Ladies and gentlemen, from everyone here at the Ballyliffin Golf Club, thank you so kindly for joining us throughout an amazing week. And for the final time, congratulations, Jacob Skov Olesen. You are the 129th Amateur Champion.